Wrestling Brain. Could it be? Could it be Thursday Night Wrestling Brain? I think maybe the rarest night that we go live, and all that means is that it is indeed a pay-per-view week. Thank you for joining me. I'm with Lucinza Josh Custodio here to preview All in Texas with an all-star group of guests tonight. Very excited to be joined by some names we know and love to go through every match on the card. We'll give our picks, our predictions, what we've thought of it so far. Probably spend 10-15 minutes with each person. It's our old house party format. People love this one. Hello to the chat. Ninja Store 506, Matty B, and Matty Mac. Great to see you guys. Matty Mac saying Wrestling Brain. More and more people are saying Wrestling Brain. But before any of the guests come and join us, before we utter a single wrestler's name, look at this guy. Ryan Schapp. Going to be manning the ones and twos tonight. These are tough shows, Ryan. You're quarterbacking a big evening.
I'm here to get the job done. I'm here. I'm thinking I'm going to go all in. And then I'm going to disappear for a few months, and then I'm going to go all out, if you know what I mean.
Sort of a Darby Allin situation, maybe.
Appearing on Mark Maron's podcast, which was a strange announcement. I haven't listened to that show in a long time. He became too old manny for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, with podcasts sometimes, I just leave them, and I listen to a bunch of Mark Maron, and now I've left them. But Ryan, we have a huge row of guests up tonight. I want to just get to them as quickly as possible so we don't leave everybody laying. But very first thing we're going to do out of the gate before Murder Brian Quinby from Guys joins us. Shappy disagreed with a take of mine about the first match we're going to preview, the Young Bucks versus Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. And so did a bunch of the chat too. So happy to have Brian on to sort of represent that side. We'll preview that one. But first, chat, I want to go to you. On a scale of 1 to 7, with 1 being the worst and 7 being the best. Where is your excitement for this Saturday's edition of All In? Ryan, turn me sideways and hit the music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. 1, 2.
I'm not even there.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on.
Ryan, do you want to do the honors and read out the scores, see where the people are at going into Saturday?
I'd love to. That's something I've never done before. Sam Fells with a 7, Fruits Are Edible with a 7, Matty B 2123 with a 7, Ninja Star 506 with a 7, Seviar 1 with a 7, Kyle Cushman with a 7, Astral Beer with a 7, Culture of Losing with a 7, the Matty Mac, Josh Be Careful, he also gives a 6.5, spiritual average being about a 6.999999969.
I would say that sounds about right to me. This one's a 7. I'd say I'm more excited than I am for the average AEW pay-per-view by quite a bit. Like, it actually feels like a giant deal to me. all in on Saturday. I wish it was Saturday night. That'd be one complaint I have about it, is that I love the Saturday night shows. I know the whole reason is that it's easier for New York to counter program them if they're at night, not in the daytime where it's harder to get to them. But really, besides that, I'm just amped to make some brunch over here, fire up, and do the post show after. Ryan, or are you at the full 7, or where are you sitting here?
I'm pretty damn excited. I really like how the card is shaping up, and I kind of fall in the middle of this first argument that is going to go down. But I just I love watching AEW pay-per-views. I think they are sick. I think they are jam-packed, and they rule. I loved Double or Nothing, but it was a very long, exhausting show. It ruled, no question, but I love how they are, for the most part, structuring this show.
Me too, man. Let's bring him in. He's the host of Guys. He's also one of the co-hosting pair. It's him and me of Higher Brian here on the network, which I don't need to plug. It's the most popular thing on here. It's he's a big time draw. People want to hear this guy talk about wrestling. Murder Brian Quinby's in the house. Hey Brian, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I feel good. I'm pumped for the show on Saturday. How you feeling?
Pretty good, yeah. I actually went to a concert last night, but I did come straight home and watch the Go Home show. And then my wife was like, "So did you end up liking it?" And I was like, to tell you the truth, I could have told you what was on it before I even watched it. So that's good. That's not a bad thing. But no, I mean, I just kind of know the rhythms of the show and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
In some way, that's almost like unavoidable on a go home show too. It's like, well, what are they really gonna do? Like the only big takeaway I saw people with last night is like a lot of the baby faces had a big moment already on the show as we head into Saturday. But besides that, yeah, not a ton.
That's tricky stuff.
Yeah,
I tell you right now, they know that that's how people think, because that's been the WWE thing for so long that they absolutely fully know that people are like, well, if the baby faces stand tall at the end of the episode, that means the heels are going to win at the pay-per-view. I think, like, in my mind, I think some heels will win. I even though am honestly, I don't think, I've heard a lot of people saying like MJF's going to win. I don't know if that's a given.
No,
I don't know if I do think Hangman's probably winning. I would bet money if you were allowed to do that in this country, or if anybody would take my bet that he's winning anytime. So like I just, when I was watching, when I knew people were saying that stuff, I knew people were going to say like, oh, the babyface is so tall, but John Moxley choked out. Did he choke out Hangman before? I don't know. It was like 1 a.m. I'd just been to a Wu-Tang Clan concert.
What a double header.
Watched it. Yeah. But yeah,
Tony does totally weaponize that he knows the Vince McMahon booking. He did it with hometowns, where he thought people think hometown are going to be losers. He does it with this too. We've pointed this out on the show that it's not quite 50-50 more often. Who stands tall is losing, but so often it goes the other way too.
What makes sense? I think that, like, also you could make the argument that having the baby faces at the end of the go home stand tall lets you know that they could, like, it's not like there's a limited amount of baby faces standing tall you're allowed to do. You know what I mean? It could be like, hey, they're really good. It's wrestling though, so it's just up to a guy. But,
it's true. Yeah, it's just a guy choosing.
But I think that most of the baby faces will win. Even again, like I think Mark Briscoe is probably going to win the thing, because there was all that stuff about MJF wanting to feud with Mark Briscoe, and when has Tony Khan ever said no to MJF?
Not ever, not anything? One time.
So I think
poor Jay White lose to him hopping around on one foot.
Yeah. So I think it seems to me like Mark Briscoe could eliminate MJF, and that would make more sense moving forward. But you brought me on here because I yelled at you in text. I was very disgusted by your
yeah. Do you want me to say what my take was, or do you want to?
I heard it. I think they all know what your take was.
Okay, Brian. I want you to tell the audience what you texted me on whatever day it was, and what had you so incensed that I said.
I said, I got to get it up here on my screen because I want to be accurate here.
Perfect.
And I'm an idiot, so I probably forgot. And I said, it's too bad I'm not going to be around on Wednesday because I'm listening to the stream and strongly disagree with the Bucks versus Swerve and Osprey take because you had said, oh no, like what was the take was something like first of all, Swerve and Osprey have to win. It's a stupid stipulation, and I was like, it's not a stupid stipulation. It's the stipulation that convinced everybody they don't know who's going to win. All the stipulations they've done on this show have done nothing except for put doubt in who's going to win the matches. And I think that has been like the strength of the build because you can't tell me that you know who's winning that match. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think I'm in the minority of who people think is winning that match. For me, it's not as much that. Okay, I do think at the time before they introduced Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland exchange, it did forecast a lot more than now that Swerve and Ospreay have an answer. Now they're putting up that they don't have to be, they can't challenge for a year. For me, it's the combination of the two things that feels stupid. It feels overwrought. I don't feel like, oh, you can't challenge for the titles for a year. Is like, it feels broken brain to me.
It's
like,
a secret. Well, do you think Tony Khan is ever going to let somebody say, if I lose, I will never challenge for the title again? Like that, I just don't believe he's.
That's why it forecasts the ending to me, Brian. Like that's the exact reason that I feel like that's who's winning.
Well, in the end, I think that the Young Bucks are winning. I'm so sure that the Young Bucks are winning. And I think that in the end, that is a smart stipulation because the minute Hangman Page wins, everybody's going to be like, hey, why aren't Swerve and Ospreay going after Hangman Page? You know what I mean? Like that is, they every time something happens, they say that. So you buy yourself an entire year, plus you buy yourself the Swerve Ospreay feud, and I think Swerve is always more stronger as a heel, and like him going back heel would be really great, I think.
I'm with you. I think they've teased the Swerve Strickland heel turn. I will embrace it when it's there. I think what you are viewing, I think maybe this is exactly what the difference in opinion is. What you're viewing is it buys you a year is a bad year to me. Not a bad year. Not by no means. I think next year is going to be great for AEW. I think they're on a great trajectory right now. But for me, I don't feel like it is a benefit to that year to have neither Will Ospreay or especially Swerve Strickland, who I think is turning heel, while babyface Hangman Page is champion. That feels, and then the people, I said that, and then people were like, well, at the year that it's the big comeback story. No, next year, a year will be all it in London. That's Ospreay's moment if they're doing this year thing. And
but that's not the only title. And
but Swerve Hangman is the feud to me.
Right. Well, that's why you have to keep them apart. I think that you need to have a reason you're doing that. The obvious feud after this is MJF because they've been teasing it since like the middle of fucking like the early winter part.
100%.
So I think that's one of the things that's going to happen. But I think that you can turn Swerve heel and have him kick the shit out of Kenny Omega. You can like that other. I don't think that other title it's secondary, of course. It might be in the world heavyweight title, but I think it's like when New Japan had the Intercontinental title and the title, and either one of them could be a headliner on any show. It was like when Nakamura had it, and Naito had it.
People that was main eventing shows all kinds, and people sort of mentioned exactly what you're saying, how equal those titles felt at points. And I agree. My chief complaint now is I don't want Hangman and Swerve kept apart for a year. I think heel Swerve versus babyface Hangman is like the ideal platonic feud for that title. It's not the end of the world. I think this match is going to cork. Holding on to the EVP titles, though, is also annoying to me. Everything to do, I like them way more as the Founding Fathers. The EVP stuff Now, it's hard for me to even remember it because I hated that and the Jericho learning tree stuff, and they were so
Yeah.
tonally similar in my mind. So I don't think it's probably as bad isolated, but in conjunction, I was just like, and then MJF was doing more like there was the Jeff Jarrett stuff. I was like, this is also stinky. So like that,
Yeah.
all that stuff sort of gets lumped in together with the EVP thing to me. I'm willing to grant that might be unfair, but I think people are really expecting like, oh, these two baby faces are going to win and the EVP thing will be gone. And that's even part of the line. And then that Swerve and Osprey attachment, it feels a little better now, but I still wish they were involved in something ultimately more interesting and all in for me.
I think also like we just had like a lot. I mean, we had like what, 6 months of Hangman and Swerve. I just think you can rest feuds for a while and come back to them later. We know they're going to wrestle again. It's not like they're not going to. And this could be next year when Osprey is challenging whoever the heel champion is for the title and Swerve and Hangman are wrestling on the undercard.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. It's just like that. I just think that like a Swerve Osprey feud would be very fun. They have like done the work to kind of build it now, I guess.
Yeah.
But I also might be wrong. Like I think the Bucks are going to win because I also think, and this is going to bite me in the ass because I think I probably felt this way before, but they're just going to leave for a long time again and come back and their character could be anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep, that's true.
I thought that last time and they came back because remember at Wrestle Kingdom, they were so good.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
No question. I think sometimes, and rightfully so, I get painted as like a Bucks hater, but like I love their multi-man matches. I think they're the best guys to have in those spots. It's only when they fall into like, oh, we have to have more story or character that I feel like they just enter zones that I find more irritating and not in like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
But this
gotta
all
be
to
a
say, I think this is
way.
gonna be one of the best matches of the night. Like I'm psyched.
There's gotta be a way to get them out of that without them winning this. I just don't think they're gonna win the match. I think that like I think they're gonna win. Like I do think they're gonna win, and hopefully they just go away and they come back because they're not gonna be around. They're never around. You know what I mean? Like it's all in happens, and then they'll go away until maybe like All Out or Full Gear or something. And they come back, they can be whatever. But I mean, like I said, if you want more Hangman and Swerve, which I do, I just think it can hold off for a year and have them in other programs with other people. And I like the idea of like shaking things up.
Doing it for the title. Like they were clear about that. Swerve was never going to let Hangman have the title. Now Hangman has the title.
Yeah.
And now
But
it's like,
he
oh, I
can't,
can't
but
challenge
now
him.
he can't challenge him, so he can't do anything about it. And again, there are other baby faces he could turn on. Like I think Kenny Omega will probably win this title, and I think Swerve versus like Osprey, and then Swerve versus Kenny Omega is a good run. And then by the time you're through those two fucking feuds, it's time to start building a Hangman feud again. Because you can also build a Hangman feud without them having official matches. You know what I mean?
agree.
So
No, that's true
you could start the build like in 6 months or something like that, and people would hold on to it for that. I mean, like I said, they've been building that MJF Hangman feud for a really long time, and it really feels like it's coming very soon.
I think that is.
I think that it's
Ryan,
one
I
of
see
the
you trying
red
to jump in.
herrings.
Is it next guest time.
No, I wanted to ask a question. I remember seeing you, Brian, somewhere. I don't know if it was on Higher Brian or on your feed, but you were and reasonably so critical about how you would stick Osprey and Swerve together in a tag team match on like the biggest show of in the of the year and maybe even the foreseeable future. Do you still feel that way, or do you think that they without going too far down the fantasy booking rabbit hole, are you happy with the placement of those two on the card together, or do you think they are better suited elsewhere?
I don't think I was. I agree with. I said that for sure. I thought what the fuck would you put these two guys in a tag match? But since it looks like, and I could be wrong after Collision tonight, since it looks like they are doing less matches on this show, I will never get mad about them doing less matches because the shows
last
have
All In had
gotten
9 too.
unwieldy. Yeah,
The last All In had 9, I believe, and was still long. Like Omega Okada, Storm, Mercedes, and Hangman Mox are all going so long. This is gonna be like a Wrestle Kingdom situation where the top 5 matches are like 4 hours.
But the rest of the stuff doesn't really matter.
No,
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, who gives a shit about those tag titles at this point? I don't know how anybody could possibly care about those tag titles.
Worst built match on the card. We'll talk
Oh, and
about
it's funny
later,
too because it is very obvious that like they made them sell a bunch last night because people are complaining. Which it's like it's the same thing they complain about. Like, oh, Mercedes comes in and she doesn't lose, and it's like, well, she's getting pushed. These guys are getting pushed.
I honestly don't
And
even
that's
feel like
another
that it could
feud.
have been that put. Oh, okay, that's a crazy thing to say. Obviously, they've been very pushed, but they're not entering like. To me, they don't feel like, oh my god, these guys are always winning. They don't sell. Like I see that complaint. I guess I'm just into the act. Maybe I don't know. They don't feel like. And I don't mind a different match style on the card of them just kicking some ass.
Mm-hmm. I also like the idea of like, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but Lashley getting sick of MJF. He turns babyface and Swerve gets his win back from Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lashley as a heel versus babyface Swerve. Because like he did pin him and then never go back to it again. Which is I think really the reason why people think Lashley's not willing to. They think people have creative control. They don't understand that like Lashley is not getting beat because he's being pushed. And he like you don't just beat people. That is such a WWE thing where it's like, okay, you fucking so Mercedes should have lost to like Athena, and now this match would just be one in however many. You know what I mean? Like
no,
one
totally.
loss.
I want to loop back to the Young Bucks thing for 1 second. Do you think if they win, they're also leaving? Off TV, I should say.
Yes. Yes,
so you think
I think
they could
either
win?
way they leave.
Okay, I wouldn't mind that as much, to be honest, for like the freshness. Like
they did it before. It's the same thing with Kenny. I think it's become pretty obvious that they have not limited dates, but less dates than in the first few years of AEW. Because like
and limited interest in who they'll spend those dates with. It feels like there's an increasing pod of like who that crew will work with to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, and it would be nice if you get the Young Bucks. I like the Bucks. I'm definitely not a Bucks hater. I actually like them a lot.
I heard you're a hater.
I'm not. I'm actually not. I people hate them so much that I think they think I'm fucking around. Like when I say I like Deadpool. It's not that. It is fucking. But like, yeah, I think that like they're gonna leave no matter what happens. They could, again, if they get beat though, like, what's next for everybody? You know what I mean? Like, so then Swerve moves right into a feud with Kenny or with Hangman and Ospreay. I don't know where he goes next, unless they feud with each other for the title shot.
What if this really is like when I look up and down this card, and I think this will probably become apparent as we get through the whole show, and Sam Fells will get you on deck here, get you up in the next couple minutes. Is this could just be outside of Kyle Fletcher, the night of baby faces, like that they just want this, whatever the post-punk dark cloud into the Death Riders, they want to re-reveal that belt, have the EVPs extinguished, have the belt revealed. And there's another spot on the card where I'm picking it too, but I can't think of it. Oh, if it comes off of the Hurt Syndicate in that triple threat, where they want maybe like this exhale feeling. I could see that being the booking more than what's everybody doing next. That they want this like consistent feeling across All In.
I also haven't read spoilers from Collision, so maybe this is stupid.
And
I had kind of gotten the impression that it wasn't totally out of the question for FTR to be in that match for a 4-way, and then you put the titles on them, and That would be perfect. I don't
Yeah,
even like FTR, but I
Me
think
either.
that would be fucking perfect. Give
I
those
like
guys
four
the
ways more than I
title.
like three ways, so that works for me.
I don't like any ways. I like one-on-one ways. That's it.
Not even tag.
Uh, Tag's fine. I don't mind. Tag teams is a thing, and trios. I'm fine with that. I just like singles. I just like guys wrestling each other. That's
Maybe
why I watch it.
does the old All Japan tag style appeal to you, where it's like for tag league, it's just a bunch of singles guys we get together, and it's like, yeah, all of our top stars are just tagging up for like they aren't really established tag teams outside of the league. It's just like, let's put all of our stars together, and those are the tag teams.
I honestly think that what I would like to see is them to say, listen, there's actual big acts in the tag division, because Jet Boat or whatever, and fucking
That's their name. You nailed it.
Jet boat.
and the patriarchy. I mean, I like Christian and Nick. I like Nick Wayne enough. You know what I
I
mean?
love it. I'm in on him.
But I think like nobody in that match to me is like, could you imagine they put it on Jet Boat or Speed Jet?
I'm only
the
calling him
airplane
Jet Boat from
guy.
here on out. No, yeah,
The
it's Jet
airplane
Speed.
guy.
Jet Boat is way better.
Yeah,
It's not even close.
that they put
They
it
should
on.
be Jet Boat.
They should. I just think those guys aren't ready to hold a title.
Yeah,
But
yeah, dude.
but if you put it on them, it would make sense because you want it on FTR. I think, and ultimately you want it on FTR like as soon as possible, and that's why I think they might even just get in there and steal a pin. But I don't know. I would put them in there. I would 100%. If it were up to me, I'd just have them go in there and they could steal a pin, and then they're the champions. And then you start lining up baby faces against it. I mean, put the fucking Outrunners against them, which I would have never said. I was one of the people that was like, do not push those guys. But now I'm kind of like, well, it seems like you could push those guys. You know what I mean? It's because
No, I agree.
people online.
I've always kind of liked them though.
Yeah, but people online have this like, oh, wrestling's also funny. And I'm not Jim Cornette. I don't mind.
I'm
that.
almost Jim Cornette at this point for how much fun.
But I don't think I'm like, yeah, I just don't know. Like,
Wrestling sense of
you
humor
can't make
sucks.
them titles, and you can't make a team like that title contenders, or it just makes the whole thing look like geeks. Although I might even be wrong because Jet Speed or
Nope.
Jet Boat, I guess, those guys have looked like geeks for like a month now. And then
Shit
last
out.
night they were like, you can go ahead and beat them up and they'll sell. But Christian had to cause the part. Like Christian had to hurt his leg, and then the Jet Speed guys got. I don't know. I think this might be a red herring. I think Tony he definitely knows what people are saying. And my guess is that Shelton Benjamin's going to take the pin, and whoever he just gets beat again, which he's been beat a million times. It's not like special, you know. But Bobby Lashley should not eat a pin until he eats it from a top baby face.
Agreed. Brian, I gotta say two
Or
things
top
real
heel.
quick. One, I'm afraid if they put the titles on Jet Boat, that they'll sink to the bottom of the ocean. And two, I encourage you anytime you disagree with me to send me a text. I'm a fan of yours. I listen to guys, and getting a text out of the blue like, hey, dumbass, not like this. I was like, let's go. Let's get this guy out there and do the damn thing. So anytime you disagree with me, feel free to.
I think we're gonna talk next week, aren't we? After
yeah,
the
what are we
pay-per-view?
doing? Monday, Tuesday?
Or the weekend? Oh yeah, it's a day. It's scheduled. That's what I
Yeah.
know.
It's
I know
on the
it's a day that's scheduled, but I will see it when
Yeah.
it's the day. But yeah, we'll talk next week, and maybe know. It'll be cool to kind of know what's going on
100%.
because I also think that like here's another thing.
I have to
You
go
could
to our
put-
next guest. There can't be another thing,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay,
You are
everybody,
the man.
I was right. Remember that.
Brian was wrong in this instance. Let's not forget that. This was a Josh was right moment.
Nobody's ever said I was wrong. All right, guys, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go.
You're the best,
hang
man.
with the
Have a good
wife.
night.
Bye.
Oh, man. I love talking with that guy, Ryan.
Oh, one of the best in the business. Metallica guys next week. I can't wait.
Oh, my God. He's going to be feasting.
Oh, kids today, they're all about cooking and eating.
Well, yeah, and who could blame him?
This show is cooking.
A lot of fun there. We've got so there's the tag titles. We got to have, or not even the titles, the Young Bucks match on the scene. We got that out of the way. Up next here, Sam Fells is going to be joining me to talk about both of the gauntlet matches Very interested in these. I like these being a staple of AEW. I like the match format is good to me. And I'm gonna post up, and there he is. Sam, I'm just posting that you're joining us. Isn't that an amazing coincidence?
The timing was always your thing. I'm still working on Jet Boat. You're gonna give me a minute.
Yeah. What did you think? What do you think of Jet Boat?
I love it. It sounds like Night Boat, and I can make all the fjord jokes I want. And
Yeah.
that's really all I'm after. Josh.
Yeah.
Crime fighting boat. You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You live your life to look for a good fjord joke. And really, that's no different from anyone else.
You gotta these days. The simple things matter more than ever.
Of course, you know him from his writing and voices of wrestling. To me, the coolest thing about Sam is that you got a zine off the ground. That's just the coolest thing. This guy used to go hawk magazines outside of the arena. What's the arena, Sam?
The United Center.
The United Center in Chicago. That's just the coolest thing in the world to me when Slack told me that. So
yeah, and your future guest Ryan Lambert used to write for us.
Two geniuses of the game. Sam,
Hell yeah.
Indeed. So
on Wrestling Brain tonight. Sam, how'd you on? You're doing a lot of heavy lifting here. You're easily have the most total wrestlers to talk about here. As I've got the 2 gauntlet matches together
Right.
for us to preview. What do you think before we get into the ins and outs of the gauntlet? Do you like having 2 on a show? This being sort of a set standard for the All In. Does it suit you?
This is where I kind of waver into being New York poisoned, because 2 rumbles on a show always felt a little much, even though that's the deal. And the other shows they do where there's like 1 of each, always felt a little clamor. There's a way to do this
Elimination
gauntlet.
Chamber, I think.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber is one of them. There's a way to Money in the Bank would be another. There's a way to do these gauntlets though, where one of them doesn't have to feel long. Like there's not a set, with the other shows, like everyone's got to get in, everyone's got to do this spot. These you could cut off after 5 people if you felt like you needed to. I like this style of match, I really do. The fact that it gives it an urgency that lacks from a lot of these things. So I like the setup, and we've never seen them do. They didn't do a women's gauntlet last year, right? So this is the first time they've done it.
That's right.
So I don't want to pass judgment until I see what it looks like when 2 of them are on the show. I'm a little antsy about it. I think there should have been another women's match in addition, but it's okay. It's fine.
I see that complaint quite a bit online. I see that.
Yeah.
I had someone in our mentions saying if there was another women's match on it, my excitement would be 7. They were at a 6. And they said if they added any women's match, it'd be at a 7. And they said yes.
Not
That's all
any
that's
women's
missing for some people.
match, but but they're not. It's less because they're only doing the 9 matches, as you just said, right? They're not doing 11 or 12. So I have a little more patience for it. Not total. If they were doing like 11 or 12 matches and there wasn't a second singles women's match, I think that would be a bigger complaint. But for now, everyone we need to is probably going to get on this show. So
yeah, and I feel like the gauntlet, whether it's a lazy way or not, you could maybe have a discussion, but is get everyone on the card sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. The 2 of anything on a card just doesn't really sit right with me. It just doesn't seem like a good idea, but I understand its utility, so I can sort of look the other way.
The difference here is that these have that urgency, right? Like if you're watching 2 rumbles, you have to sit through 30 entrances. If you're watching 2 elimination chambers, you're going to have to sit through 5 eliminations. Like once the second one hits, you're like, all right, I know I have to commit to something here for a little bit before anything that matters happens. This one, not the same. Everything matters.
Let's start with the women's gauntlet, Sam. We know that Chris Statlander is going to be in it. We know that Megan Bain's going to be in it. That's a fantastic starting 2, if you ask me. What do you think? Of course, we can't really pick winners here, so let me throw some names your way.
Okay.
Do you think we see Willow Nightingale in this?
Yes.
Do you think we see Athena in this?
I think we see Athena, and I think she wins.
Love that. Well, more on that in a second. I'm very interested to know your answer on this. Do you think we see Britt Baker in this?
I think so.
Okay.
I think, whenever a wrestler who's been sort of in the abyss, not actual abyss, the
wish.
term, comes out, even if it's a story about they're not leaving or they are leaving, I always feel like there's a purpose to it. My brain always works that way. So I feel like her sort of re-entering the bloodstream just a little bit was last week, 2 weeks ago. That's kind of like a signal that she will be in this. I don't think she's going to win it or anything or play a major role. But, last year they did this and they had a couple surprises. They had a couple big pops. Whatever we think of Brit, her music hitting will generate a pretty big pop. And you need
Huge
a
deal.
couple of those. You need a couple of those for this.
Very big deal. Let's go back one step. You think Athena's winning? Let's go back one more step. Do you
Okay.
think that means Thunder Rosa beats her on Friday night for the ROH title, or is this a situation where she's challenging Tony or Mercedes as ROH champion?
I can't. I don't think Rosa's gonna beat her. It wouldn't surprise me if they want to just finally move her over full time. I'm getting a little big brained on this because I'm looking at both gauntlets and saying, okay, well these are your winners and they will be your first major feud for whoever's champ after All In.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really get anyone to Tony at the moment. Megan would be a rematch, and the
This
first
is
one was
exactly
good.
what I was dealing with today, trying to reverse math this.
So the way I wrote it on my site today, I sort of have it as Athena winning and using that to point to Mercedes, just saying I'm going to take this and go at Mercedes because that's kind of the match everyone wants.
Yep.
They already have a history from the Owen, or was
Yep,
it?
yep.
Yes, the Owen. So it's a little layered and it's a little big brained, but that's where I think this is going. They need something. They need Athena to make a splash on AEW, and I think this is probably the best way to do it.
Chad, I want to know, are you picking Athena in this one? Because I think so. Here's my problem. When I went to do predictions, both people that I had written down weren't signed as or weren't AEW Dynamite talent. Like both people at the men's and women's that I had picked was Athena, and then I thought a New Japan talent for the men's one set up something on Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door,
the direction that I thought they were going to go there. But then I was like, are they going to have two people? And we're led to believe this is going to have the cash-in thing with it, right, Sam? Where they're going to.
Well, I don't necessarily believe that. I know that's what MJF said,
But they
but
haven't said it isn't, and that is
they haven't said it isn't.
been.
He says a lot of things. I don't know. I feel like the whole Christian cash-in thing was such a slog and kind of a disaster that they'll pivot away from that. It'll be kind of the same thing when MJF had the chip and he would just sort of sit in the skybox and loom.
Yeah,
and they would wait for him to say, "This is when I'm gonna get my match." I think it's gonna be more like that.
Because that just suits a heel so much more, you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to see like Athena coming up to the main roster with all this babyface goodwill and getting like this cash-in thing.
Yeah, but I mean, she's kind of in the middle, right? She's a face sort of, but she's such an ass kicker.
Sure.
She's not, the prototypical baby face. I don't know that. I was thinking about this today too, and I'm like, Willow and Tony doesn't make a lot of
doesn't, right?
sense.
What about Bane running that back?
What's that? Bane?
What about
Yeah,
running Bane back?
You could. I was thinking, Tekla.
Yeah, that's my pick to spoil
because
it. That's what I'm picking.
That's a pretty good first feud out of All In. It makes another star. She's not going to win, but they'd obviously have a great match.
Tony versus Monster of the Week sort of has worked as well.
Yeah. So that would be my secondary choice, I think. If we're looking for someone for Tony to have a program with after All In, I think it would be Tekla. But I could see them because Athena Mercedes feels like a huge feud, and they the rumors about they want to get the Renegades in with Mercedes, and then you have Billy and everyone else with Tony. You have possible 6-men and tag teams. I just feel like that this could be the impetus for that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that there's a lot of reason for thinking that way. So Sam's on Athena, I'm on Tekla. Sam, let's jump over to the men's side of the coin. We have MJF and Mark Briscoe as our starting choices here. I see Mark Briscoe is kind of a pick that people are making out there to win this thing, which I think would be very cool, but I don't really see happening. I think that both guys in the start of this are basically going to be in this to extend their feud. That will be a feud coming out of this. Do you see either of these guys going the distance, Sam? And if not, I'll throw a couple names your way and you can react to those.
I think MJF is going to win it. This is where I'm trying to really be simple because AEW's booking is usually pretty simple.
You're right about that.
I've done a couple of these previews with you now for pay-per-views, and you've watched me spiral out in theories and predictions, and they could do this, and then they always mostly end up doing the simplest thing.
It's true. They usually do.
The simplest thing here is MJF winning. You could have Briscoe come back at him for the title shot or whatever later. I just feel like he's a perfect first out of the gate for Hangman. You could run that for a couple months, or he sort of looms over whatever Hangman does at first, then you save it for All Out main event,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. I think they've just built it like this. This has been about MJF and Briscoe and MJF and Mystico. MJF centers of both of those. It's too obvious for me to ignore. I'm going to do the simple thing and say it's MJF.
See, that's the thing for me though. The Mystico feud gets him to Forbidden Door, so like him having a title shot before Forbidden Door and not using it. But I really think they're going to do him and Mystico at Forbidden Door. That's why I'm not picking MJF. That's why I do the backwards math, and I'm just
Okay.
picking a New Japan talent.
Okay.
I
The
think-
Field from New Japan.
Yeah, playing the field from New Japan, because I think Briscoe can spurn out and cover MJF until he gets in, because he's not going to have a lot of time on TV with Mystico leading up to Forbidden Door. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see MJF needing this at all to get to Hangman. I feel like they've been planting the seeds for this for ages. MJF hasn't lost in a while except to Hangman. And
no, MJF never needs a vehicle to get what he wants, as you guys were discussing earlier.
For sure.
And there's another way I had this. The other way I had this going was that MJF losing this in some obvious way, like he has a pin obvious to him and he blows it or something like that. And that's the first step in the Hurt Syndicate kind of looking at him cross-eyed. Like, you blow this, then he gets his title shot somehow.
Okay.
He blows that. And they're like, well, all you do is lose the important matches. Why are you with us? That's the other way I can see this going.
That's something, Sam. I hadn't really thought about that. That would make a lot of sense too.
He's gonna be front and center, whatever happens. Obviously,
and honestly, I feel like he's been in the pocket lately. As far as as much as I'm gonna get into him, I don't really have a problem with him getting the big push now.
Right. Absolutely, I agree.
Sam, it's always a pleasure having you on these things, man. Love when you swing by. Anything you want to let the people know about where they can find your work?
I have the Sam Fells, but who's buying newsletter on the Ghost platform. It's a lot of hockey, but it's a lot of soccer. I started the wrestling today just to get my friend Air Traffic AJ to leave me alone because he kept
Where do
me.
we find the wrestling?
It's all
on there as well.
On there as well.
Okay, well, after you hang up, go link to that in the chat.
Absolutely. All right.
So
Thanks
check
so much.
that out.
Always a
I always
pleasure. Never a chore.
That's really nice of you to say, man. Always, and we owe you one because Sam's been so kind. I was too sick for the preview show last time, so apologies to both you and Dan Saracini, who were okay. Let's do it this time. Put out the time, and then I was wrecked that week.
So. No worries. Usually Dan and I make people sick after the.
Maybe tonight. We'll see.
Maybe tonight. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Thanks so much, Sam. Always appreciate you
going,
coming
guys.
on, man. Ryan, I'm gonna go get Blair Pacheco on deck to talk about this next match here. Gonna go get him the old info. How do you feel the show's going so far?
I love it. I think we're keeping honest to our to the clock.
I've got a clock running right here for each one. My phone becomes a stopwatch, and I'm like, okay, we got damn times to hit.
I can give you the broadcast cues.
What's this mean? Is that stop in the name
That's
of love?
5
I thought that
minutes.
was stop in the name of love. That's okay.
Stop right now. Thank you very much. I need some. But no, it's I love hearing the perspectives. You cast a very good net of characters, but also intellectual characters, and they do a great job of kind of setting the stage for these matches, and it's just getting me more damn excited for this show. It's a big one. Simply put.
You're so right. These preview shows always get me hyped too.
Yeah.
Like doing them, I only increase my own excitement for this. Even like talking through the gauntlet there, it's like, oh my god, there's some options to go down.
A lot of options, and just like you get to
we
watch.
didn't talk Keith Lee. That's the big wonder. Everybody's wondering if Keith Lee is going to be out there. Chad, is Keith Lee going to be out there?
Is he healthy enough?
He's saying on Twitter he is.
Wow.
He's saying, it's not up to me. My health seems fine. Where you see me is not in my control. I'd love to see Big Keith, man. Very few people I'd be more interested. Well, I'm never going to get my Keith Lee versus Roosh dream match, but that's A-okay. Blair, your video is off. The people need to see the beautiful man who, him, of course, is the host of the Grainmaker podcast. Blair, do you do play-by-play or color for local Winnipeg Wrestling Federations? We can't hear or see him, can we, Ryan?
No, we
Oh,
can't.
there he is.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
We can
look at
see
those
him.
arms.
We can't hear you yet, Blair, but he cuts a striking figure even just
How about this?
now.
There
We
you
got
go.
him. There's the host of the Grainmaker podcast. And I was asking Blair, do you do play-by-play or color when you do commentary?
I do play-by-play.
And the play-by-play man for so many, it seems, local Winnipeg federations, the man rocking out there on the prairies, and a fellow Portuguese-Canadian greatness. So
I
always
see
great
how
to
it goes.
see. Like,
Can I-
yeah, sorry, Ryan. Yeah.
Can I just mention that like the upcoming show they have in October that
Sure.
I do commentary for?
Mhm.
Tickets went on sale last week, and they've sold 900 tickets already in 1 week. So I just want to throw that out there.
Is that the one at the Burton Cummings Theater?
It is.
Hell yeah. I
Man.
saw that on WrestleTix today. Being the psycho I am, looking at ticket sales, and I saw that one was selling well, and that rules. It rules to see independent wrestling thriving in the peg.
So I
900's
mean,
crazy.
Eric Bischoff can't even get 300 for his. So,
No, and he's
must be
got
doing
big names
something
on
right.
there.
I know.
And I don't want to put over this federation too hard, but Wrestling Brain Live 2 only sold 899, so they even have us beat by one. That's impressive.
But I'm trying to find a way to see if I can see you guys too on here. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm feeling better. All right.
There he is.
Okay.
He sees us, we see him. Blair, excited for All In. We've got the TNT title match a little bit down card. It's going to be Kyle Fletcher, I think, taking it off of Adam Cole. We'll see what you think there. What have you thought of the build to this, where these guys are at, and what do you ultimately think's happening in this match?
Like I'm trying to be positive about it, but I am very tired of Adam Cole in the position that he is. I feel like I know me and good old Jay's Retro, we talked about it a little earlier, and it's almost like he's still like that 2017 Adam Cole, and we haven't gotten anything since then. Whereas like Kyle Fletcher, he is the future of professional wrestling. So like
Whoa.
I think he needs a big victory here. He needs that title around his waist. And I cannot see any situation where Adam Cole walks out of All In still as champion.
I love that. You're certain. Would you consider this one of the locks of the card?
100%. I think this is the start of the ascension of Kyle Fletcher to the world heavyweight picture.
So the TNT title, he goes on, let's say, a tasty run, 8-9 defenses, something like that, and he's in the world title scene maybe end of this year, start of next year kind of situation.
I only need a couple month run of him as champ. I don't think he needs a long drawn out one. Just give him a couple months, get that gold around his waist, kind of elevate that TNT division again.
Yeah.
Because it's been, pardon my French, but it's been dog shit for
We're a
quite a while.
swearing friendly zone.
Okay, thank you. So I just need something with it.
No, I agree with you, man. And I don't think there should be long TNT title runs.
No.
This unified title, United title, I forget what it's going to be called. They're going to book that thing identical to the world title. I guarantee it. Only long runs, everything. And I don't really have a big complaint with that. But if you're going to have your main titles be that, please, for the love of God, have the TNT title be a bit more transactional, transitional.
Yes.
Let it move around, let it hot potato, and then when some guy really can grab a hold of it, you're trying to push someone who's 6'4", some guy built like Blair Pacheco, he's got the muscles, he's ready to do, then you can give that person the longer run. Because I feel like, and again, I'm the last guy to complain about Tony as a booker. I think he's a fantastic booker, but if there is a weakness, it's that he saw the Okada run in New Japan and was like, that's it, that's how you do a run, and it's sort of like copy and pasted across. I'd love to see somebody besides Punk lose the title on like their first defense, like the world title.
Yeah, like with Fletcher, I think you give him, a 2-month run, Wrestle Dream, he could drop the title maybe, and then that's where you see maybe he goes into the Continental Classic, and that's where he gets like a big, maybe he wins the Continental Classic, something like that. But he has star written all over him, and like last night, him and Takeshita, Proto Shida, sign me up for that. Like, fuck,
That
put
match
him in the
was so
tag
good.
division, and I'm set.
That match was so good, man. I'm with you. And it's nice to feel that way about both those guys, Takeshita and Fletcher. I did a Keep It or Kick It on last night's show of basically who do you think is going to be world champion first, Fletcher or Takeshita. Where would have you gone on that?
I think in my head, it's Kyle Fletcher, because I think by the time All In rolls around next year in Wembley, we're seeing Kyle Fletcher defending the championship against Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense for Wembley next year.
Yeah, so I see Fletcher get the world title first, but I think Takeshita will get the unified title before. Like that'll be his.
Yeah, and I have no problem with that because
No.
Takeshita just is in that sphere that the like elite guys like to work, and I feel like that's who's going to be the unified. It might be them plus Swerve. I feel like is going to break into that. So good to see. Okay, so I feel like Adam Cole outright needs a big match here. Can Kyle Fletcher get it out of him? Like, can these guys? Let's face it, this card's stacked. Can these guys? And this is what it's going to take. Put on something that can compete for match of the night for the TNT title on Saturday.
Looking at this show, I don't see where they can compete for match of the night. But I think Fletcher will have a hell of a performance. But I'm not sold on Adam Cole being 100% because like last night, why was he not a part of that tag match and Brody King in there instead?
That's a great question, actually, when you think about the pairings. I hadn't even considered that. Do you think he got hurt since coming back?
Yeah, I think it was that first match they had. He hasn't been the same since then. He's done a lot of commentary and really almost been like a shadow champion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's
Yes.
barely a presence, at least on Dynamite. You see him on Collision here and there, but he's not some mover and shaker on TNT.
No, so I think like he's had a rough go. So I really think this is a way to get the title off of him. It'll elevate Fletcher, get him more eyes on him, and rightfully so. And like Adam Cole doesn't need singles gold in 2025. Like,
Yeah,
put Undisputed Paragon in the trios division and let them do some stuff. But like as a singles wrestler, absolutely not.
yeah. It's because I agree with you taste wise, but something that just always strikes me about Adam Cole is every company he's ever been in made him a top guy, and every show I've ever seen him on, he's getting a reaction. And so I imagine when you're a booker and you're Tony Khan and you're like, man, some of these are 5-hour tapings, Dynamite in these collisions. It's like, man, a guy like Adam Cole in a position where I can always trot him out there is so utility. And I think that's what keeps him activated because I haven't felt, I mean, his whole AEW run has been, I hated when they made Hangman fight him forever. And I just haven't been into it. I haven't hated it. Like, again, the reactions are there, but he's just like you say in 2025. I'd rather see either of his faction mates in his position. Like I'd rather see Roddy. I'd rather see KOR.
I'm trying not to make this sound like super smart assy, and it's a genuine question, but has he had a good feud in AEW?
I don't think that's smart assy at all. I think that's a great question. I think you could maybe call the Hangman feud a good feud. I didn't really like them together, but they did a trilogy together. My goodness, though, if that's the high watermark, I didn't even like that. I was exhausted of it by the end.
Because like every feud he's had, like the Orange Cassidy feud, like really didn't do much for me, and like that's almost an afterthought nowadays. And it's like, well, since then, like he was injured, he was saddled with MJF for way too long, and it's like, well, what are we doing? Like when you look at the absolute murderer's row of talent that's in AEW. How does Adam Cole compete with any of these guys right now in this day and age?
Yeah, I really am right there with you. Chat weighing in here, Matty Mac saying it's impossible to suspend belief when Kyle is selling for Cole. Yeah, I get that, man. I remember when they made oh no, that was John Gargano, I think, that had to sell them for Keith Lee, or Keith Lee had to sell for, which is crazy. Culture of Losing thinks this match is the opener for that reason, the boom. I think this match will follow Omega Okada wherever it is. How about you?
I could see that because this is almost like your popcorn break match.
Yeah.
And it's not in regards to Kyle Fletcher at all. It's just that's where it's saddled in because you're not going to throw a gauntlet. Well, you could do a gauntlet match, but like every other match, there's some big time stakes at it. And this is the one where it's like you almost like you're going in thinking like Fletcher already hasn't won.
Yeah, there is a feeling of that. And I mean, yeah, they'd really have to do something special to get me coming off my seat for this one, but maybe they do. I think it's a weird thing to have crossed my mind, but it's like Kyle Fletcher is almost already past the TNT title for me, and I hope that AEW is willing to make this shift over to that generation of guys sooner rather than later. Or they've actually course corrected a lot, but earlier this year, the reliance on guys in their 40s was killing me, and I thought was leaking all over the show. And so they've remedied that, but I really think once you're into that, Takeshita and Fletcher are our champs, and Nick Wayne coming on up. Like I'm really ready for that class to be maybe even overdue a little bit for that one to come in.
Yeah, you hit the nail on that. I think that Fletcher's even past the TNT title at this point, but like if you need to do something, okay, do this. That's why like a couple months tops and then let's move on because you don't want to saddle him in that division because the dude is he's a star. Like
Oh yeah.
he is an absolute star. So like let's treat him like one.
Yeah, he was second in my most improved wrestler last year after only Hanare, who I think would be on fire right now if he wasn't injured, but
Mhm.
a whole different story. Any opponents come to mind you'd like to see mix it up with Fletchers and baby faces sort of in that zone that you think would be good TNT defenses for him?
You know, like I know it's a little too soon, but like I would love to see Josh Alexander split out of the Callus faction,
Hmm.
and that be one of the matches at All Out. You know,
Alexander and Fletcher.
yeah,
It
because it
gives
would
you a
give,
Canadian base. That's not bad.
yeah. So that's one that I would really like to see. You know, give me Fletcher and Brody King because I feel like they don't do enough with Brody King still. So like you could do that.
That'll push back on a bit. Not that I would take any Brody
Mm.
King match, but I want to see them. Brody King's done so much in-ring communication, and he's so over based
Mhm.
off of just matches. If we're gonna start giving minutes to Brody King, I want a little character, a little vignette. Like
That's fair.
let this guy. Not obviously, I think him and Fletcher would rule, but if he's just
Yes.
going out there to lose to Fletcher, give him a 3-minute video package where he could like talk. Because I think this guy is like ready to have the fuse. How over is he based off of? When does he even win? Like
He
it's
doesn't.
genuinely incredible.
Like he's a guy that, like they should be doing more with. I would love to see him pushed up to that upper echelon because he can do it. He's been a world champion before. Like
That's
let's
right.
let the dogs loose. Let him go.
And the crowd's so ready to accept him in that role, which is, and I'm ready for it too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Where's this one in your excitement level, Blair?
I think this is honestly, it's probably the least that I'm
Yeah.
excited for. And it's, you just look at this card and there's so many incredible matches. Like I'm hyped for Jet Boat. I think that match is going to be great. I love that. That unabashedly I'm a Young Bucks guy, so I'm fully into that match. Omega Okada, you can't go wrong. Mox Hangman is going to absolutely fucking deliver. Storm and Monet, like every single match is like, hell yeah, fucking rights. Let's do this.
Yeah, genuinely, I feel like this is my least anticipated. Maybe the tag 3-way. We learned maybe. I don't know if you've seen Collision, Blair. I've been on air. Does it sound like it's going to be a 4-way with FTR?
FTR versus Outrunners, I think, got announced for 0 hour.
Oh, okay. So it is staying as the triple thing. Okay, that'd be my least anticipated, but this would be right down there too.
I think the only match that I could see it being more excited for is if they do a trios match. I don't think that's been official yet. So if they do a trios tag,
right?
Then
Is that not official? It has to be made.
It's not on the Wikipedia yet, so that's why I'm
interesting.
Not that Wikipedia is be all end all, but
no, but I'm a podcaster. That's where I look.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's my research.
Yeah.
Blair, what have you got going on over in the grain maker world? We'll see you off here in a minute or two, but you must have some all in stuff going down.
You know what? Me and good old Jay's Retro, we got a podcast dropping, previewing that.
Awesome.
Besides that, the Grain Maker podcast, I have an episode with Inferno coming out next week.
Oh, my favorite wrestler, safety third.
I love that kid. He's an absolute beauty.
He's a
he's
a young playboy is what he is. I'll tell you that about Inferno.
I just dropped one with one of your commentary partners, Matt Joseph.
I keep meaning to listen to that. I knew you had my brother Matt on there. I love Matt. I'm sure he was killer on it.
He did a great job, and honestly, like I'm jacked up. I'm stoked for All Out because like it's been a while since I've seen you, and first time we met was NXT Takeover back in Toronto.
Yep, it's 2017.
Was it 19?
19? You would know better than me.
Yeah, I think it's 2019. So it's been a minute. And even when I was talking to Matt, we were kind of, we're discussing, and I was like, I've known you for almost 10 years now at this point. Because I started listening to Top Marks. I started listening then. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, man. It's sort of humbling even to think about, and the time, and we're still here. It's very nice, it warms my heart these days for sure.
Dude, you have absolutely been crushing it with Wrestling Brain. You are an inspiration to me, and I love what you're doing, and I just want to keep seeing you succeed.
And likewise, man, especially the podcast too. But when I saw you were doing commentary, I'm like, I know what that step is, you know, from the podcast to the real world. Like I'm so much wishing nothing but continued for success
Hell
for you,
yeah.
man. And so happy to see you in that role.
So I'm stoked to crush some cold gold with you in September, and it's going to be an absolute blast, buddy.
We're gonna have an insane time, dude. Check out him and Jay's Retro's preview of this same of this podcast. I'm sure they went into it. And listen definitely to Matt on Grainmaker. I love that guy.
So
Blair,
awesome.
love and energy, brother. We'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you in September. Enjoy the show
Thanks,
Saturday.
guys. Take care. Peace.
All right, Ryan. What a great appearance from everybody so far.
What a hunk. Absolute hunk on that last call. Oh, my Lord.
Handsome guy. There's absolutely, I mean, I'm not trying to put myself over here, but Portuguese Canadian. You know, there's the bar only
Nelly
goes
Furtado, you guys.
Ian Dessau from Billy Talent.
That's all of them.
That's each and every one.
Thank you, Blair, indeed.
Yeah, thank you, Blair. Now, I haven't heard back from our next guest here, so I'm wondering if I should try and get... Let me see here.
You know, my biggest
RL,
concern...
are you on deck? Are you in the chat if I wanted to go to you before our next guest? I don't see him there. I see lots of shouts out for Inferno, though, which is awesome.
How much you think Adam Cole weighs?
What a great question. 160?
Yeah, he looked he looked spaghetti arm thin last time I saw him on AEW. Like, he is just a thin boy.
Yeah, I mean, Blair said it. There's just not... Wow, the chat's all in on 160. Chat loves this as an answer. The original Swagman, Flube and I. Everybody who was I was sitting with it, no fate. Okay, why don't we fun for until 7:07, and if I haven't heard back from the guest, we're gonna go to URL. And I'm not talking about a web address. What's your number one match you're most excited for, Ryan?
Myself? The two mains, which no, I will go with Tony versus Mercedes because I genuinely do not know how that match is going to play out. I don't know what to expect in terms of match style. Like, we know the match that we're going to see between Hangman and Jon Moxley, and we know we have a general idea of what the night's going to look, what the end of the night's going to look like, and where the company's going to go from. I have no idea who would win a Mercedes versus Tony, and both people winning makes perfect sense to me. I also
like
know
that.
what,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, but and what I like is, like, that's what a main event of a big show should be like. There should be enough. You don't need to fantasy book because it could go either way, and their promo from Monday to start or from Wednesday to kick off Dynamite really got me sold for that semi-main or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, genuinely, like, getting talked into the building is a good feeling. And when guys are able to make that happen, I'm all in. Okay, I'm going to get RL in here. RL, I'll send you the link here in a second.
R.L. Stein,
R.L. is
the
asking
writer
for the link.
of the Goosebumps series from the 90s, a
That's
rich
who he is.
individual. It came from beneath the sink, I believe.
Well, RL is a writer. So in that way, him and RL Stein have that in common.
I mean, that's
for
a big...
years he was Hitsmerl to me. Hitsmerl Stein, says Kevin Sell. Yeah. Now, Ryan, if Kate tries to join during this,
We'll find out how it'll happen.
okay, yeah, I'm just wondering, is the computer going to explode?
Well, that's why we have a couple of different screens here, so that if it does explode, then we take it off and we pivot. We mute the feedback loop that we're gonna hear, and we hope for the best. So R.L. Stein's coming on the show. Goosebumps. You got the guy from Animorphs. He's going to come in. He's going to talk about Mox versus Hangman. The person that wrote the Babysitters Club. They're going to come on. It's a heavy hitters of YA novels, and that's what you want in your professional wrestling discussion. Is these types of writers.
100% agree. We like a little fear in there, although a little bit too much. That's how you get the Fiend in there. Horrendous.
I was meaning to ask you this on last night.
Yeah.
With our toxic spider, Theka. How do you pronounce it?
Tekla.
Tekla. The th really bamboozles me. You know, she's doing that wicked spider walk that the late Bray Wyatt did. Is there any? I don't know. Anything come to mind to you? Like maybe you hope that she's asked. Is that off limits, or is it anything goes?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's wrestling. Unfortunately, it's like everything's been done. It's gonna be done into infinity. Like he might have done it first. I don't even. For all I know, Bray Wyatt wasn't the guy who did it first. You know, it's just the first guy I saw see do it. I always think it's cool. I remember this is clip of Homicide because he had the cop killer, and then Hurricane did the Vertebraker. And I remember there's this clip of him from must be around 08 or something. Like, well, what do you think of this guy Shane Helm stealing your finisher? He's like, I love the way he does it, man. Like he's just like so egoless about it. He's like, oh yeah, he's you know, mine's the OG, but that his is good. And I always think that it's wrestling. It's like music. It's like when people, there are songs that are direct ripoffs, but when it's like ultimately there's like a language with only so many words in it. So I don't know. Tekla's the toxic spider. Is there reason for her to be that? If there is, then go ahead. Well, there aren't any. How else do you communicate that you were spider-like in the ring?
No,
Besides being a Spider-Man pointing at each other.
I mean, I love it. I think it fits perfectly. I think she does it like it just shows her core strength and flexibility. Like it looks even more unique than when Bray did it. So I'm all for it too. I just know in this dumb wrestling fan climate world that we try to navigate through, you have, you know, shitheads just telling you, oh, you can't do that. You know, that's a blatant ripoff. That's you know, that's WWE. That's New York City.
We love it. And of course, if you want to take down New York, head on over and see our merch drop. You can go to wrestlingbrain-shop at fourthwall.com and you can see our wares that we dropped just yesterday. A massive amount of orders. I mean, massive, plenty of orders coming in today. Go check out the designs made by our own Bobby Burrito. Some incredible stuff there. It's a great way to support the channel. Let me see if I can get the link in the chat here.
I myself and the missus, we made two
order?
important purchases today, Josh.
What'd you order?
One, his and hers Brain Takes New York shirts. Secondly, we purchased PWHL Vancouver season tickets.
Oh, that's like junior women's hockey?
Professional women's.
Oh, well, there you go.
And you know what I'm going to wear to that game? Those damn shirts. Right in front of the hard camera, too. Come on.
A damn combo. You can join the ranks of the people who ordered the shirts today and get the bag. We've got a tote bag in there to hold stuff. You can carry it. We're blowing past RL's spot too. Might have to go to our third guest who's on after RL. Let's see.
Josh, as you tee up the next guest, my question for you for Saturday, on a scale of $0 to $50, how excited are you? In terms of $0 to $50 coming out of your pocket, how excited are you for All In Texas?
Yeah, dude, I'm extremely excited. Easily the most excited I've been for an AEW pay-per-view all the time. RL saying he's in the video chat.
I don't see him.
We don't see you, RL. Hang on a sec. Let's make sure we got him the right link.
As we wrangle up these technical lovely little journeys, I am very excited. I'm very excited to support a pay-per-view and a fledgling company. But I think when you just kind of believe in an organization and kind of believe in a direction and what they're doing, like, man, I was never happy or excited to spend money on a New York pay-per-view, but I'm excited to spend money on Saturday.
I know what you mean. It is like, yeah, you know, when they're measuring their pay-per-view buys and how we do, it's like, I don't mind contributing to like that ethos. There he is, wearing a Bobby Burrito shirt, all of his own. in a hat that says has an L on it, which stands for his last name L. RL joins us, my brother Ryan Lambert on Wrestling Brain tonight. Can you hear us, Ryan?
Hold on, I can't hear anything.
Oh.
1 second.
Well, we can hear you, which is a good sign.
Is that? Oh, I see what happened. Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Did I?
I still don't.
Well, we're going to keep talking until you can hear us, and then you'll
will
say,
hear us
hey, I
eventually.
got you. Got a lot of records behind him.
Hold on. Let me.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can
I
hear
know.
you.
I can see that you're saying you can hear me. I can't
a lip
hear
reader.
you saying that though.
But he knows, which is good.
So one solution I have is to plug my headphones into my microphone.
Okay, let's see.
How about
Can
now?
you hear us now? Can you hear us, RL?
Well, now I can hear you through my computer speaker, which is bad. Hold on.
You sound fine coming in.
Yeah. Can you hear you talking right
No.
now?
Check, check, check.
Okay, then here.
Nope.
Now I can do this. Let's do it.
You almost just found like a better, lower key way you can do all your shows.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Hey,
That's like me behind the computer.
you got any Blue
RL, I
Oyster
pointed
Cult
out that
behind
you're
you?
wearing. I pointed out that you're wearing a hat with an L on it because that's your
Mhm.
last name, L.
Yeah, it's also the name of the city I'm from, Lowell, Massachusetts. This
Is that are they the L's?
No, the L stands for Lowell.
And what's the team? Or is it just a hat of the city?
Well, this is the college I went to. UMass
Oh,
Lowell.
see, I was thinking sports. I was like, the Canucks.
Sure,
wouldn't
yeah.
have just
Well,
like a
I
V.
mean, they have sports teams.
Yeah, they're the
Well, sure,
Lowell
but that
L's.
is
Everybody
sports.
knows that. The Lowell L's. That's their team name.
Don't be rude.
Great to have you on, RL. As always, love to talk to you about professional wrestling as ever.
Sure.
Brought you on for my least anticipated match of the night. Sorry about that. The Hurt
That's okay.
Syndicate putting their tag titles on the line against Jetboat and the Patriarchy here, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne added to make it a three-way. Let me ask you right out the gate. Do you like this more as a straight up tag, or were you happier when they added Christian and Nick Wayne into the fray?
Well, I mean, I guess it means I'll see less speedball in the ring, so that's a positive for me. But I mean, like you say, I'm not really super looking forward to this match or anything. I think it'll be fine. I think the only good thing about having the third team in there for me is basically like it makes it harder to tell what the result would be, you know? Because like now the Hurt Syndicate doesn't have to get pinned to lose. And you don't have to pretend, oh yeah, I can buy that Mike Bailey can beat up Shelton Benjamin. That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
You know?
kayfabe destroying. Because I'm with you, RL. What is the reason to add Christian and Nick? I know that there was some setup and whatnot, but ultimately, this was one of two things to me. It reads as we wanted Christian on this card somewhere so we can have Ed Copeland run in and do his thing. Where can we put Christian in? I understand it through that lens, and maybe it is just going to be a Hurt Syndicate defense, and that was the reason. Here's where we see Cope. I'll get that. But I think the much more likely reason is let's get these belts off of Hurt Syndicate, make this more of a singles act where they can turn on MJF and everybody does their turn with him. And if that's the case, which of the two other teams do you see these titles swapping onto?
Probably Speedboat or whatever. What are they called?
Jet Speed, Jet Boat.
Speed. Yeah, probably them just because it feels like they're going the Edge and Christian route at a certain point. And
Yeah.
Nick Wayne eats the pin, and Christian's disappointed in him, and off you go, and that kind of thing. But yeah, ultimately, I think you know, it just makes it so that there's more people on the card at the end of the day. Honestly,
But the build was so silly last night. Like,
I agree.
do you think that Christian and Nick and Jetboat are going to work together, the baby faces, in like a 4v2 handicap against the Hurt Syndicate? Because that's what happened on TV last night.
I don't think that, but like I literally, so when you said, oh, let's talk about this match, I was like, okay, cool. I haven't watched Collision in a few. I watched like Collision 100, but I hadn't watched a few before that. And so I was like, where did they like get into this feud? When did this happen?
Well, what is
And,
this?
and I read back, and basically like 3 weeks ago, Christian was like, "Me and Nick are going to be a tag team, and we're going to win a championship." And that was it. That was like the setup for them being in this match. And I'm going, I mean, I guess they beat Big Bill and Brian Keith like
Yeah, that's
two,
right.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so that's why they get to be in this match now, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't like Jet Speed as legitimized contenders. I don't really know
No.
how else to say it. I'm a fan of Kevin Knight, big fan of Kevin Knight even. But I
Yeah,
want
he's
him
good.
soaring towards heavyweight. I want him to do the Will Osprey, the Swerve Strickland, the grow up and ascend. And I feel like with Speedball, it's just very engaging of be very athletic and pump the crowd and like I don't know. And opposite Hurt Syndicate, and I know that this is the point, but they really, this is why I didn't get the build 2 weeks ago where they just crushed them. It's like, well, what do we learn here? It's like, well, that it's very easy for the Hurt Syndicate to beat the fuck out of Jet Boat and that they'll always
Right.
get back up. But it's like, and
Right.
then they equal it last week, but then they need the help from the other heel team. If they are willing to play into that, I think that could be an interesting dynamic insofar as it doesn't become the super overwrought babyface. Oh, can I actually use the heels help here? But if they're just like, we want these titles, like Christian, come here, let's do a move. I think this could be interesting. I think that is an interesting story that they could tell and would add a dimension to Jet Boat that they sorely need.
Well, so the other thing about it is I watched Collision tonight because, they were like, oh, there's going to be a Shibata Gabe Kidd match. I said, I'll see you there. That's no problem. And that match was fucking sick, of course.
I'm excited to watch it tonight.
But in watching it, they were like, oh, yeah, and FTR, they have a match with the Outrunners on 0 Hour. Okay, sure. And then like in setting up that match, Stokely was like, oh, and also we'll be ringside or something like along those lines for the three-way championship match. And so I don't know if like they're going to be mad at Christian for whatever he did to them
Right.
recently, or it gets a little confusing, like with the alignments and everything, like you say. Like, is it going to be 4-on-2? I don't know, because like the bigger heels, quote unquote, in FTR are also going to be there, and so if they're mad at Christian,
Could they get involved
are they
somewhere?
all heels? Is it 6-on-2 now?
Did FTR get added to the match?
No, they
Oh, yeah,
they
but
got
they're
the 0 Hour match,
right,
but
but they're going to
also
be in
said
the
they
build.
would be there
Yeah.
for so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I haven't really liked a ton about this. Honestly, the best
No.
result for me would be like Hurt Syndicate just pins Nick Wayne. That sets up Cope coming back, and I don't really understand how you turn them face quite out of that, but they can figure it out. Like, I really feel like that's their end destination here.
They want to be. They want. Wait, who face Edge and Christian?
I think they want face Edge and Christian for Canada for All Out.
Absolutely, and I think if you have that against the Hurt Syndicate, I think that works great.
Yeah, I think that totally works too. I just don't figure out how Christian can abandon Nick Wayne and go babyface at the same time. It's almost like Nick Wayne, maybe Christian takes the pin and Nick Wayne is super aggressive. Like and actually they have teased that on TV a bit, that Nick Wayne feels like he's outgrowing him. So actually, maybe that's what you do here. You have Lashley pin Christian and Nick Wayne goes vicious, boots him, and it's Cope for the save. I think I've just talked myself into that being my prediction.
Yeah, but AEW loves doing that too, though, where it's like, I'm being mistreated in this faction. Yuta, Takeshita did it in the last like 6 months or so, and then that just goes away. They're like, actually, it's all fine. I never thought about it again.
And sometimes that is for like, that can be a weakness, but honestly that is for a strength too. Like, I don't mind when they just drop something that sucks.
Yeah, I agree. But like the Yuta thing at least felt like it was building to a Danielson, whatever. That's a different match, but
No, I get you. Who then are we sharing a pick here, or picking the Hurt Syndicate to retain?
yeah, I think we just talked ourselves into that for sure.
That's what happened to me. I feel a little bit for Jet Boat coming out of this then, RL. Like, did you just keep them in the tag division? Would you immediately break them up here? Where do you see for them exiting this match?
Yeah, they can still be friends or whatever, but like these are singles wrestlers that they just kind of smashed together and we're like,
Yeah.
you're a tag team now. So I don't, you know, I don't need to see these guys tagging anymore.
I wonder. Yeah, that's give free Kevin Knight, let him beat Speedball, and then and I'm not even, I'm not a Speedball guy, but I can't deny the reactions. Have him in your like TNT title scene, that sort of putting on fun, high energy matches that people can super get into. But in terms of super legitimate guy in the tag scene, I'm not sure I'm all for it.
Him and Kyle Fletcher can have some good matches when Kyle Fletcher wins the TNT.
Yeah, they can even do a little feud. I got no problem with that.
Yep, great.
Where do you think this match goes on the card, RL?
Like third-ish, like early,
Yeah.
first third of the card for sure.
Front half and not the opener.
Front half, not the opener, and not like the one right before a big match either, because people want to chant for the Hurt Syndicate. They want to see Edge and Christian. So,
while you're on air, do you want to chant for the Hurt Syndicate? Do you want to sing "We Hurt People"?
I can't. That's your gimmick.
Well, I'm saying we could do it together. If I count down, do you want to on 3 say it together?
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, point, and on point, we hurt people. Okay, ready?
Right. Yep.
We hurt,
We hurt
people.
people.
Yeah. Now that was high energy. That's what you get with my brother RL on the damn show. RL, 2 quick things. Name a movie people should watch, and anything you want to tell them about writing wise. I know people think the world of your. I don't follow hockey, so I can't digest it as well. But people I know who are in the know think extremely highly of your writing.
Well, that's nice of them to think that, and you to convey it, I suppose. A movie.
Well, I'm gonna lie to you, like, I was reading some hockey stuff, and boy, did I ever think it was deep. No, everyone know I'm full of shit.
Look, all I'll say is like anytime somebody's like, "Oh, I read your stuff," I'm just like, I don't know. Okay, if you say so. I don't know why you would do that, but
all right, sorry,
Arl.
Hang on. Your article here about number 99, the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
I love writing about Wayne, man.
I thought that was a hell of a read when I was reading it, and when you talk about the goals and the moments and all, you captured. What makes the game so great. So
hockey's really about moments is the kind of thing I'm always saying.
Yeah. He's writing about, you're writing about how drunk Wayne Gretzky looks every time he appears on camera. Every time, no matter what time of day it is.
He does seem like he's often having a great time out there.
That's why I call him the great one.
That's right.
Thank you so much for jumping on, brother. Tell him about a movie. Tell him about your writing.
I just watched the Coen Brothers Blood Simple for the first time yesterday. This thing's a Stone Cold classic, folks.
That's a great one, man.
Yeah.
I will go so far as to say, like, underrated, even though I know it's beloved. Like, I feel like it's kind of, when people talk about the great Coen Brothers movie, they don't usually go before Barton Fink. I love Blood Simple.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like their 6th best movie, and therefore it's only like the 30th best movie of the 1980s.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, that's exactly it.
So,
well, there he is, and there he goes. Our brother RL, thank you so much for calling in. Excited to watch the show and take it in with you in the Discord.
Have a good one, brother.
Thanks, brother. You too. Love and energy. Zoobs, you can jump in whenever you so please.
Who's this guy?
Well, this upcoming guy, let me tell you, this is a cat you want in your life. This
cat,
is I think he has the link already, right?
Oh, yeah, and it's his usual link.
Awesome. Well, so reclaiming his spot here on the other side of the screen opposite me on a program here on twitch.tv/Wrestling Brain. He is the other half of the Sword and Shield. He is the Zoobs. He's not here yet. But that's okay.
He could be here eminently.
Any second, you got to think. The guy's a punctual guy. He
put
in the
Discord.
Discord. I hope not.
He shouldn't be wearing a shirt if he wants to come on this show.
No, Zoobs is hot. He doesn't need those things.
Guy's
he is wearing a shirt.
What?
Yes, I have a shirt on. Why wouldn't I have a shirt on? That's for Instagram. Not wearing a shirt is for Instagram. For the Twitch, we established this, that Twitch is about cleavage, not toplessness. Instagram is about toplessness. Twitch is about cleavage and hot tubs. I don't think hot tubs is still the meta. Anyway, not what this is about.
Though. You're absolutely right. He is my big brother.
You guys want to do a stream in a hot tub? I could arrange that.
I can't fit a hot tub in this room. Yeah, that meta is over.
I was, in my mind, I was assuming we were all in a hot tub together, but I like the idea that we'd have to buy 3 hot tubs.
Time spent together is time well spent.
How beautiful is that? And that's what we're doing right now, isn't it, Zoobs? And what a queue up. We got 2 Toronto legends taking us off air here. We got the Zoobs here to talk about Omega Okada, And then Blake Murphy is going to take us off air
Ooh.
to talk about Mox Hangman. He just texted me to confirm he is able to make it. So if those aren't two top guy draws for you, I don't know what else is going to get you out of bed.
I'm glad I'm getting it ahead of him. So the handsome, we can scale up and get to the main event when we get to him.
Zoops, I'm so excited to have you on, not only because I always love talking to you, but Omega Okada somehow didn't get chosen by people when I was pitching the matches
Craziness.
to them, which I thought was crazy too, and I'm thankful to get to dive into this one for you. So big time helicopter view. Where is this one on your total hype level for the pay-per-view? And of the matches on it, is this one of the ones you're most excited for?
Yeah, easily. It's one of the ones I'm most excited for. It's a Mega Okada 5. What are we doing here? I get it. Listen, I think it's a nice microcosm of a thing that we do with AEW all the time is, yeah, if you really want to, if you want to do this, if you want to spend 5 minutes telling yourself why it's not that exciting and not going to be that good, knock yourself out. I defy you when it starts and the bell rings to not be like, holy shit, we're seeing this. It's just like, I am fully in the second camp.
It's the bell pop of the night, right?
It's insanity. This is the biggest thing they could do in the biggest spot. This is the biggest thing they could do. Along with everything else that they're doing, all of what I will call the top 3 things that they are doing: the men's title, the women's title, and Okada Omega 5. To me, that's the 3 biggest things they could do in 2025, and they're doing them. And I think what people, I don't want to say get caught up in or get wrong here, is the idea that it has to be better than what they've done before. I don't agree with that. It has to be different than what they've done before, and it will be different. So I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be better than Dominion. That was insanity. I don't think it's going to be better than a Wrestle Kingdom main event. I'm not. But the pay-per-views are always spectacular. They're always unbelievably good every time, and this is 2 of the greatest we have ever seen in the modern era, in getting to tell a completely different story than they ever have in this rivalry, right? They've gotten to tell a lot of different stories with this. They're going to do something they've never really done before, which is, on Kenny's end, you're talking about how healthy is he? What is his top gear? And Okada's end, you have the every time he comes out there, people will say, oh, does he have the top gear? Does he have the top gear? And he's slowly built up, right? We got the Ibushi, we got oh yeah, he still does have it. We're going to get that. Like, I think we're going to get a lot of, oh right, we're gonna get into this, and it's gonna be 25 minutes in, and we're gonna be like, oh right, like this is the thing. This is the, like, more or less, this rivalry is why this company even exists, in a way of like having to go and find Omega Okada 1, 2, 3, and 4 brought a lot of people across the pond, and brought a lot of people to a different style, and brought a lot of people into that international vibe. And now it's paying off on American soil, on American television, and an American company, in their biggest spot in a giant arena, in a stadium. I think it's easy to tell yourself reasons why it's not going to be good. I think it's really easy to say why it will be, and because all the ingredients are there for something really special.
Yeah, really well said, as ever, Big Brother. And I think that well of stuff that they can have to pull on is so deep at this point too, where even though they may be a little bit more limited what they can do at this point, they have things to hearken to that aren't going to have to maximize their physical ability to get reactions. Like, I'm thinking of Punk versus Joe 4 that took place at All In, and this sort of being a spiritual, we're revisiting a classic feud. Like you said, it can't be as good, quote unquote, but it can be different and better in a different way. And I felt like Punk and Joe really understood the assignment there. I'm curious, if you're Kenny Omega in particular, what would you try to communicate through this match?
Great question. What would I try to communicate? I think what you are communicating, what he's been communicating, is this idea of, like, he really has to empty the tank. He really has to dig into reserves. That has been the story every time against Okada, but that's been the story of his return, of, like, Gabe Kidd brought that out of him, and the last pay-per-view match brought that out of him, where, like, he is really digging and he is really hitting absolute empty at the tank every time he gets to the very end of these matches, and getting himself sort of fully emptied. I think it will be, for him, it will be a, like, I'm not done yet. The Jordan Belfort I'm not fucking leaving. I think is sort of what we're looking for, because we had people in the chat last night hinting like, I don't even know how much longer he has left. I don't know how much, is he
Yeah.
actually sneaky close to retirement? I think this is the I'm not fucking leaving. I think this is
Love that.
the
You almost forgot.
you almost have forgot. Yeah, say my name type shit, right? I think that is this is my company. This is why we're here. And even if he doesn't win it, I think we are due for that. And I think Okada very similarly. You like the talk about you almost have forgot. Like I can do 10, I can do 1, and I can win on both speeds. It doesn't really matter to me. I am that guy. I think that is what both of them are sort of coming into this with, and I'm really excited to see how they get to that ending based on where they're starting.
I was thinking earlier today about how much these guys are kin earlier together. Like we link them together in our minds, one of the most famous feuds, maybe the most famous feud of their era. But they do find themselves, and you grazed this too, Zoobs, at kind of interestingly similar positions. Like at one point in time during Okada's title run, actually sort of another interesting Joe Punk parallel, is that Omega couldn't beat Okada, but he was the only guy who could push Okada to the limit.
Right.
And you knew that every time, if he could only get that one-winged angel, and then they, not to give away Omega Okada 3, and he finally hits it, takes the rope break to get it, you're just inching closer and closer and closer to knowing that he can do this. And so they're sort of being positioned as kin, as each other's only equals at one point in time. But now, here all these years later, you have these guys both in positions of, do they still have it? These fallen greats almost. And you and I don't necessarily talk about them in these positions. We love the Kenny and Gabe match. We loved Okada and Ospreay earlier in the year, Okada and Ibushi on TV, as you pointed out. But they're once again on like a bizarrely similar trajectory, or like looking across the ring might see in their opponent themselves in a way that I hope is shown in the match one way or another. Where what if they are like doing the Sabu stuff and missing moves? Like they are showing purposefully that it's like, oh, this shit that used to be automatic for us to do these 7-star, whatever instant classics. What if we are able to steer into that not being the space, and it's who can be great for a moment again? I think that's on the table for them to tell, and could be really compelling as something that's different, but also great in its own way and harkens back to their past. So basically what you said, but I think we're just in usual sword and shield form on a similar wavelength here, which leads to me asking Zoobs, who's winning? Who's going to be the first unified title holder? Now, I saw some people confused. I don't know how people are confused by this. Although if I'm wrong, I'm going to look so stupid. But it is simple. I saw on the press call, media call, Tony Khan was like, well, the unified title, United title? I can't remember the name of this thing. United title, I think.
I don't know.
It's going to be both the lineages of the international and the continental titles. And people are like, what is he going to carry around all the belts still? Is it going to be 2 belts? It's like, no, it's like a triple crown situation. It's going to be all of those wins will be traced. It's like New Japan when they went to IWGP 5 belt, a decision I still haven't forgiven them with. They made very clear, like, this is new lineage. And when they got rid of IC title, that belt ended, and now we have the global title. And this is just the triple crown situation of those two going to one. Zoobs, who's winning this match and being the first ever united champion?
What's it at right now? 2-1-1 Kenny?
No, it's 1-2. So it's 2 Okada, 1 Tai, 1 Kenny. Oh, but do you mean falls? Because Kenny gets more falls than him in the 2 out of 3 falls match. So falls wise, it's
record.
Yeah, record. It's 2 Okada, 1 Tai, 1 Kenny.
So then I think we have Kenny. I think we're ultimately headed to 2-2-1. I think the idea that this is the last, like you said last night, laughable. The idea that they're not done, that they're done this. I think we're going to 2-2-1. So I think this is Kenny reascending and kicking off a great run. He sort of started a great run, and then they went to this Okada thing like 8 weeks ago or whatever it was. Yeah, they're back on that track of him being like it meaning something when somebody beats him.
I thought there was a chance that this like might headline the show when they first did that, staring at each other and pointing at the sign. Like I legitimately thought that was in play. Ryan, I'd love you to weigh in on this one. Who do you think's winning?
I think it's our boy from the Peg, Kenny Omega.
So we're like the only 3 guys on Earth picking Omega. Everyone's on Okada in this match, it seems.
for all of the good reason, for all the best reasons, All in Texas kind of feels like a step into the next chapter, out of the darkness or a fresh start, whatever you want to say. I think I just like the idea that they're condensing some of the down. They're combining these strange ass titles together, to and to create clearly a top tier, second workers belt. So I like it. I think Kenny could use a big W for me, and I just think he deserves it, and it's the right choice. And if this is a guy that is very, very proud and very capable and believes in what he does, so if he's back 100%, have him win, go over, and just let him strap the Kenny Omega rocket to him and let him do what he does, and this would be a great jumping off point. He doesn't need to chase anything. Like, give him the gold.
So all three of us. Matty Max saying it's 2-1-1 Omega. Am I wrong? First one is a draw. Or no, second one's a draw. First one is Okada. Fourth one is Omega. I guess I'm thinking Omega wins 3. Does he not? Or sorry, I'm thinking Okada wins 3. Does he not? Does Omega? Stuff's harder than it looks on air, folks.
I'll look it up.
I think we had to do a draw, so maybe I'm switching my.
So you're switching your pick depending on their record.
Yeah.
You're picking the draw no matter what.
Yes, we are going to 2-2-1.
Well, there we go. Zoobs has made his pick. I will say, anybody watching this, patreon.com/J0SHC. Okay, Omega won the third. So Matty Max right. I was wrong. Thanks, Matty. And thank you, Kyle
There we
Cushman.
go.
If anybody have it right, Kyle Cushman, the guy who owns the most shiny Wrestling Brain stickers that there are. And speaking of that, patreon.com/J0SHC.
Allow me. It's an Okada buck. Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Toronto.
Yeah,
Toronto?
Toronto.
Hell.
Patreon.com/J0SHC. The paid tier, of course, you get into the Discord, you get the All In 2018 review, but the free tier, you get into the Pick'em sheet and you get a chance to win the holographic Wrestling Brain sticker. So I will put it in the chat. Although this is mostly for YouTube, for podcast, patreon.com/J0SHC. Sign up for free and go make your picks. Win a holographic sticker. Be a genius.
Hell.
So Zoobs, you're switching to Okada. I'm still on Omega. Ryan, are you switching or to the tie? Or are you staying on Omega?
Oh no, I don't give in to peer pressure.
There we go. Ryan,
staying unless
well, not really peer pressure, just new information coming to light, new shit coming to light.
Nah, you can't be peer pressured with new information. Now, if any of you guys want me to smoke, hey.
Well, smoking's cool. That's a big difference. Smoking is cool.
Smoking rules.
Changing your wrestling pick is not smoking rules.
Both kind of have their merits, though, if you think.
Yeah, they are both kind of cool. Now that
both actually, somebody comes up to you in the street and you smoke a cigarette and is like, "Hey, I changed my wrestling pick." You're like, "Okay, who's this guy?" All right. Zoobs, any chance this one is match of the night?
Of course.
Love that.
What did we do in here? So
but this card is stacked, Zoobs. People.
I know.
Stiff competition.
Part of the reason you said the card is stacked is because this match is on it. Yeah,
Agreed.
there is no. It's the high watermark in the history of wrestling for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, could it be the best match of the night? Yeah, I think.
Love it. Are you picking it to be the best match of the night?
It's the one they called me in on. It's the reason I'm here. It may as well be, right?
Love that.
If you're gonna drag me out for it, it may as well be the best one.
Yeah, I think it's really going to depend on the approach, but they have a chance at it for sure. I think that you would really need. Yeah, I don't know. They're lacking. They're going to need to seize emotion because they haven't had like a ton of face-to-face, which I think has actually served them. But they're going to have to be able to wield that in the match exiting it. So
I've had like an hour of videos about it. So
yeah, there's no short and pretty good video packages too, which
certainly
hopefully helps the case. Zoobs, that's your time. I love talking to you. You showed up for 15 minutes and burned the house down like the big bad wolf. Just heater after heater after heater. That's why you're the spirit of Wrestling Brain. Anything coming out on the Less Than Jay's feed in the next couple days? Anything you want to communicate to the people?
I owe people because they won 10 straight and led the division. So I owe one. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll crank one out. How about that? As a promise.
He promised you, folks.
I gotta give you shit. I'm dicking around at work. I'm burning.
I
I'm dribbling in the
know.
backcourt.
I know.
I don't even like the Blue Jays. It's our
I
biggest
know.
grief between one another, and I want to hear your thoughts. I love hearing
Doesn't
a
bother me at
happy,
all.
go lucky Zoobs. I want to hear about this streak. I go to your
I know.
goddamn feed. It's collecting dust. I go to
I
Spotify. A
know.
tumbleweed
How was hardest
goes
podcast
by.
to podcast this week, Ryan?
Boy, I could cut a promo here.
You know what show is there all the damn time? It's the ones I'm on.
All right. All right.
Zoobs, you are the man. I'm excited to talk more about this with you next Wednesday on the other side of All In. You've sufficiently gotten me more hype for Omega Okada 5. Maybe I'll even tune into Less Than Jay's feed for a little 8:30 a.m. tomorrow.
There you go. Sounds good.
Zoobs, love and energy, brother. Thanks for calling in.
Love and energy. Say hi to Blake for me.
I will. Absolutely. Any specific message you want to send him or a question?
Tell him I love him.
What a nice thing to say. I absolutely will.
Okay.
Bye, Zoobs. Love and energy.
I think he threw out the. I don't know if it was tonight or tomorrow. He's throwing out the first pitch at the I don't know, the minor pro game, the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team.
The Zoobs is?
No, Blake Murphy.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that for sure.
What do you think he threw?
The ball.
Fastball?
Oh. Blake?
Think he's a finesse guy, maybe a changeup?
Yeah, Blake's a technician. So what is that? So what's the pitch of the technician? Zoobs would know this. Zoobs, you still watching? What pitch would Blake throw? Zoobs, they're not a better guy to ask this to. Maybe Blake himself.
Maybe a cutter.
I don't even know. Is that you ready? Ready?
Cuts right. Yeah, you throw it at the guy and it cuts him.
Okay.
While we wait for Blake, one thing I love is somebody shared it might have been in the Discord, which has been delightful this week. Where Bully Ray is worried about the all-in main event, and what if there's bullshit in the card and you gotta protect it? And I go and look at the card, I'm like, there isn't a gimmick match on this card. There's no holds barred in the lead up, and I'm like, they've done that perfectly. You're just looking for something to whine about.
Well, you got to feel bad for Bully though. He's just looking out for AEW.
I feel bad for Bully Ray. The man owns a replica Gene Simmons base, and it's hung on with pride on this wall behind in his podcast studio.
Okay, maybe a little tasteless. A man chock full of nothing but taste. The hottest guy in Toronto. The best boxer in Toronto. This guy throws hands like no one else. You of course know him from sports, you know, from television. He's on the commercials during Dynamite. My brother Blake Murphy on the damn program tonight. Hi Blake, how are you? Thanks for calling in late.
Yeah, no problem. It's the only time that worked for me tonight. I had a softball game of my own. I haven't got to catch up on Collision yet, but I'll do that once we're done here. Yeah, man, the hardest thing to do in all of show business, sports or wrestling, follow the Zoobs.
Oh yeah, I mean, no one. You're basically the only guy we could post to do it. Otherwise, we would have gone off with we wouldn't have covered either of the 2 title matches. We would have just gone home because you need a Blake Murphy to follow the Zoobs. Zoobs had a message for you though, Blake, which I want to relay. He said, "Tell Blake I love him."
I love Zoobs too.
How nice is that? I thought.
Zoobs, get your ass to Toronto for one of these events. We should be. It's a Saturday afternoon. You could bring Sam. We could just be sitting on the couch.
Now, Blake, we were having a discussion. I found out you're throwing out a first pitch at a game.
I am. There is the Intercounty Baseball League, which is like a semi-pro league in like Toronto, Brantford, Kitchener, London. The Toronto Maple Leafs is what they're called. It's really fun. It's one of the best things to do in the summer.
They're called
Toronto.
the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yes, they date back to like the early 1900s though, like at least as far back as like 1967.
Are they the original Maple Leafs?
Not original. I think I can't remember the exact lineage, but like they've had the name a long time.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's like one of the most fun things you can do in Toronto because it's tickets are free, and the gentleman who passed away, who owned the team before, as a condition of any sale, they have to make the games free no matter what. So there is a Domenico Field.
Perpetuity.
Yeah. So there's this field, Domenico Field, which is named after the former patriarch Domenico, And yeah, it's at Christie Pits. So you just like sit on a hill. You can bring your own beers, bring your own snacks. They sell beers there too, but you can bring your own. So
How
yeah,
do
they
they
saw
make money?
sponsorship. You sell
Okay.
some beers. People buy merch. You do 50-50 raffles and stuff like that. I don't think their like operating costs are like through the roof or anything like that. But yeah, it's fun. We had one of their. They have the first woman to ever play men's professional baseball in Canada on their team. So we had her on the show, and then yeah, they reached out and they were like, "You want to throw the first pitch one day?" I'm like, sure.
Well, we were having a discussion, Blake. What pitch will you throw out?
I'm probably gonna keep it just plain fastball because I don't trust that if I threw something funky, I wouldn't like airmail it or throw it in the dirt or something like that. I want the thing that I want to try the most is there's like a new on vogue pitch in baseball, which is called the kick change. So normally when you throw a change up, you're a pronator. But guys who are supinators, like certain pitchers pronate better,
I
certain pitchers
supinate.
supinate better. So the supinators have generally not had a changeup option before, and now they're starting to throw it. It's a little harder and it moves funky. So when I've like played catch, I like play around with it. Like I had a softball game tonight, and I'm like playing around with the grip and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a different ball. There's no way I could throw it effectively whatsoever. So I just don't want to embarrass myself. So right down the middle, that's it.
Are you gonna have the gun on it? Are you gonna see what your speed is for this first pitch?
Yeah, this is another thing where like if they had the like cameras that measure spin rate and stuff like that, then I'd try to throw a breaking ball or something like that. I'd be like, okay, let's see if we can pop a reading. But I am not talented when it comes to pitching, so I'm just gonna try not to embarrass myself.
A great natural athlete, Blake Murphy, and a great commentator for Smash Wrestling as well, pertinent to the.
Oh, dude,
the show
we've
again.
got we just announced Carlito is going to be at our next show, which is August 17th, and so I'm sure he's going to be working babyface on the Indies, but I've already pitched like he tries to spit the apple in some heel's face, and the heel like evades it, and I just get a face full apple in a backstage interview or something like that. I need it.
Yeah, Fergie let me go out with him when he wrestled him too. Cool guy. I bet if you brought up Fergie to Carlito, we might remember him.
Nice.
All right, let's get into the match here, Blake. We've brought you in for Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page, the supposed main event of All in Texas this Saturday. Blake, is this your most anticipated match on the card? Double bless you, it looked like.
Thank you. Yes. Managed to mute in time and find the button.
Beautiful.
I would say it's my most anticipated match. Obviously, this is the one that has all the stakes. There's been this tremendous build for it. I think Hangman's arc and over the entire history of AEW is the best thing that they've done, the best thing that any wrestling company's done over the last decade plus. I just think it's been so perfectly centered as the main character of AEW and the heart of AEW and the spirit of it. And this kind of arc he's gone on, if it concludes on Saturday, is the biggest thing they have on the table. I say just because the Okada Omega rivalry is like what got me into Japanese wrestling in the first place. Like I already had I dipped a toe in the like Styles Nakamura wrestling kingdom, but it was like, Kenny Omega is one of the first guys that draws you to it. I got to write a bunch of Omega Okada stuff and then Omega Jericho stuff when I was freelancing for Vice. So that one is always like, I don't know. I would imagine there are a lot of people who have similar wrestling fandom trajectories to me where that was around the time you got hooked on Japanese wrestling and started, hey, it went from I'm going to watch Wrestle Kingdom to I'm not missing a G1 match and we're going to have G1 pools. So I'm so curious to see if they can find it one more time at the same speed. And man, the amount of callbacks and things like that they're going to have in that match. So I will say most anticipated.
I think that's a fair split. I'm actually shocked to say that this is my most anticipated match, even though I feel like it's 100% certain the outcome. And it's going to be a big run-in parade match, which isn't normally my...
It's going to be Cody Roman, right?
Yeah, exactly right. It is. It's going to be, here comes Darby, here comes Stinger, here comes Eddie, here comes whoever. But to me, I'm just happy in like a catharsis way to have that moment. Like I am excited with all the other AEW fans to see the belt again and to just have this moment of all the good guys run in and make good and end the Death Riders. Okay, well, let's start here. Are you 99% sure that Hanger's winning?
Yeah, I would say like 95. I could see some scenarios where they maybe try to hold it off and it ends up being Darby. I think it would fall so flat with the crowd though that like I don't think you can risk it even if it is a possibility in your head. And then I think the other part of what you're saying is like there is not like predictability doesn't have to be bad. If you could see the outcome of a story, that means you have told the story very coherently, right? Like this is look, I love a match where it's 50-50 and I don't know who's going to win Omega Okada. I could see Swerve Osprey versus the Bucks going both ways and certain things playing out in that. I there is obviously something to that for the dramatic effect and the being on the edge of your seat for 2.99 and things like that. But one, if it's a logical end to a story and they nail how they tell that story and how they get there, that's fine.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, like there have been predictable matches before that were absolute bangers, like where the outcome and how you get there is just still so special and so emotional, and there's so much weight to it. I think that's what we're headed for on Saturday with that one.
I also think that they just have this opportunity sort of right the ship in a permanent sense, like really exercise whatever negativity literally since Brawl Out. I think they have a chance to just have things swing their way, exercise all their demons, and that's going to play out in like a way that matches the match, so to speak, in such a literal but also spiritual way for the Fed, legitimately. And watching that play out is going to feel like the end of a hero's tale. Like pick any movie where it's like, yeah, I'm ready for the comeback of the big bad good guy to whip some damn ass and save the village. Like that's I am ready for that. And I think Hangman Page has, despite how great he already was, elevated himself through detailed storytelling to a position to be that guy.
And I think that's really well said. And if you go back and you think to Brawl Out, there were those little subtle digs between Punk and Hangman even before that, right? Where like Hangman is as we understand it, and certainly in character, is what CM Punk has always claimed to be, right? Like he is the moral compass of professional wrestling, and he is actually a good guy. And obviously Punk has ebbed and flowed with the character and stuff like that over time. But so I think there is a Hangman Punk component to that. Obviously, there is a huge component of this for me too. Is when you go back and look at the very beginning of AEW and who you thought would be the long-term players and who they could build, right? Who was the guy? And I know Hangman's already had a title run and he had that wonderful tag title run with Kenny and stuff. Like he's had big moments, but it has really felt from the very beginning that the fate of AEW, or at least the hot and cold of AEW, would go as Hangman went, because everyone else that they were bringing in was already established, or you brought in an ex-WWE guy, a TNA guy, even like the Bucks and Kenny. They had successful careers already, even if AEW didn't work out the way it is. Hangman Page is the proof of concept that AEW can build a homegrown original, can take him from he's the other guy in the elite. He's the, in being the elite, he's the joke guy and stuff like that. He's in six mans in New Japan, and you can
never world champ anywhere else.
Never world champ anywhere else. And this is, so I don't know. I think there's a lot of AEW's identity tied into the Hangman arc. And I think Saturday has the potential. They've also been so hot, and I think that's related to this story being good and Hangman being hot. It really does, though. I think have if I'm understanding what you're saying, right? Like if they nail Saturday's event, the matches are great. They stick the landing on the main event. It will really feel like a celebration of what AEW has done to this point, and a celebration of pro wrestling, really.
Perfectly understood as ever, brother. Okay, I'm going to say some names, and I want to know if you think they're showing up during this match. Okay.
Okay.
The assumed are all the Death Riders.
Okay.
I'm not even going to bother bringing up their name. I think we all agree: Gabe Kidd, Claudio Marina, maybe Pac. Pac can go in the main. Okay, let's start there. Do we see Pac on Saturday?
I'm gonna say no, just because I don't know what the injury status is, and like maybe if you like Gabe being around means that you're not gonna see Pac. I don't know.
Yeah, Gabe being there does sort of message that. I'm still going to say yes, just because I think if you have returns in anyone tangentially involved in this, you're just going to pull the trigger on it here. And I could kind of see Pac being the first one to break open that dam. I saw some rumors that he's healed up.
Do we know, by the way, that Gabe is for sure the third guy in the six-man title match?
We don't even know that match is confirmed for All In.
Oh, okay.
Which is crazy to me. It seems, after last night, though, I thought for sure it's Gabe, Claudio Wheeler, and the Ops. But
I haven't watched Collision yet. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something on there that confirms it. But
chat, has that been confirmed? I'm Joe in the chat saying yes, that's been confirmed. Must have been on Collision tonight. So there we go. Good to know.
And confirm that it's Gabe, not just confirm that it's happening.
Yeah, he just said yes. Yeah, Fuse Nova, first time chat saying it is confirmed. Thank you all very much. Confirmed on Collision. So that'll be on there. I think that makes for a 10th match. Okay, so we see that Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
He's a lock for me. I think we see him 100%.
yeah. I think yeah. I don't know how involved he gets in general, but like the music hit as a distraction, and the Death Riders all kind of look up in fear, and I don't know, he kills Wheeler Yuta or something.
I think he puts a bag on Wheeler's head. How about that?
Nice. I like that. He should maybe you got to save this for a match, but the worst thing you could do to Wheeler is cut his hair and beard. Maybe.
Yeah. 100%. He's like Samson at this point. We can't be taking it from him.
If Samson just took L's all the time.
Darby Allin.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty close to a lock as well.
Cope.
No.
Orange Cassidy.
No.
Jay White. I'm just
No.
going through opponents that the Death Riders have written off.
So
television.
Cope, I don't think, because I think whenever Cope comes back, it's FTR related. What was
I
the
think
other
he's
one?
earlier in the night
Yeah.
saving
What was
Christian
the second
from
one you said?
McLean.
What did you say between Cope and Jay White?
Orange,
Orange
Cassidy.
Cassidy. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's too many good guys coming back at once. And then Jay White, I could absolutely see as like first guy who comes out on Dynamite, interrupts Hangman's promo kind of spot.
He holds that win over him still. I was surprised Jay White won that match at the time.
Yeah, and apparently Juice is ready to go too, so you could bring the whole gang back at once. And
I love that. I'm Joe saying I think Danielson does a save during a post-match beatdown. I don't think the Death Riders will be able to do a post-match beatdown.
no, you gotta end with Hangman celebrating, right?
Well, so here's my next question, Blake. I say yes, but I don't think AEW wants to run two of these gauntlet cash-in things at once. I think there's a very real chance either Mercedes or Tony or this main event features a cash-in from that night's gauntlet winner. Do you think that's in play at all in this match? Or do you think it's plain as day, you let Hangman hold up that title and we go off
Do we
there?
know for sure it's Money in the Bank style and not just a like future title match on a pay-per-view or something?
No, we don't know
Because like
that.
the Christian Cage one went so poorly that I could see them dropping it, right?
I could see that, but they would say it had changed if it had changed. Like, I just see
Right.
people assuming it's changed because that sucked, which I agree with. It sucked, but I think there's reason to believe. I don't think he's winning, but Sam Fells earlier in the show did. He thinks MJF is winning. And I think if you wanted to give it a second try, I think Christian's a good candidate for that sort of thing in some ways, but I think MJF is almost the ideal candidate for it in a lot of ways. So I could see them thinking that would rehab it.
Yeah, and like MJF and Hangman have a lot of history. To our point earlier, MJF and Hangman kind of occupy some of the same space we're talking about in terms of the importance to AEW and what you've built. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to see this being such a huge build, so long term, the Hangman moment being so important, and then you send everyone home on a sour note. I know you don't always have to end with the babyface standing tall,
But this time
but
you do.
this is like the biggest babyface moment you've had as a company, right? Potentially.
Anything but Hangman Page wins clean and holds the belt and nothing else will be bad booking to me.
Here's one.
Anything
for you.
else?
Can I ask you one?
Yeah, please.
Does Hangman win by the chain hanging over the ropes? The
Yeah.
callback?
Yeah, he hangs them.
Yeah.
I think that has to be. The camera didn't really show it last night at the end of the Dynamite, but Hangman was almost like teasing it in the center a bunch. But yeah, I think all these bulldog chokes that Mock's been dealing out, Hangman's way of showing that he's willing to go further. It's like you read my mind too. Is the Hangman hangs him.
By the way, speaking of bulldog
Oh, it's
choke,
Brody!
we've got someone
Oh,
just
ho, ho.
passed out on the computer monitor here.
There's my brother
He's
Brody,
been bulldog choked out.
my
Big
roommate
Brody.
in September.
I have a question for each of you. Because we're all assuming that Hangman's going to win this, and that makes the most sense, and we're all here for it. And you just mentioned celebrating with the belt. The belt hasn't been seen in so damn long. It's in the briefcase. It's in the Halliburton, brother. What condition is the belt in if and when Hangman wins?
So here's a thought. I hadn't thought of this prior, but he wins and the belt is MIA, and that's when Brian makes his appearance and like he has the belt.
Why would Brian have had the belt?
Well, you just presume that he took it backstage, like he got it out of the little, I don't know, the little bag or whatever, briefcase or.
That'd be a nice moment, I think. I just don't think this has to be overcomplicated. It will reek of Vince McMahon if there has to be something else. I really just think, I think
Oh.
you said it, Blake, just land the plane.
Yeah.
Hangman beats the Death Riders and exercises
and
the
it-
Straight of Terror.
And if you want to go like really saccharine with the ending, like this whole Mox storyline has been, I'm begging someone to be good enough and tough enough to do this. Maybe if he beats Mox, Mox just fucking gives him the belt, and is like fine,
That would be
tip my cap. Like finally someone stepped up.
That's actually a really cool idea, I think. Like Mox maybe even does like the Dana White goes and stands behind him and puts the strap on. That's a great shout, Blake. I almost feel like that's gonna happen.
I'd like to see them open up the briefcase and it's just, looks like the Hardcore Championship, and then somebody like, and that's the last one over that Mox or the Death Riders get over Hangman. It's like, hey, you wanted it. Here's this piece of shit, and then whatever higher up comes out and gives them the new belt, and it's
the new belt.
Brief little moment, nothing crazy, but just, hey, I'm always thinking about how I can screw you over.
I think the big babyface pops will come during the match, all just leading up. Any Bryan appearance that would come after, I don't even understand it relative to just like, it's so right there. This is the story they're telling. AEW is a basic booking fed. He's a fan of Giant Baba. I just think that's what they do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you guys cover earlier in the show like potential Swerve involvement? Because like obviously it's been such an important part for Hangman's arc to move past. Apparently there's a good segment on Collision tonight with those two.
Nice.
As well, but I'm a little unsure. Like, does Swerve get involved, or do Swerve and Ospreay take the Bucks out of the equation earlier, and that is their role in whatever that is?
I haven't really thought about this because I do think Swerve's turning heel, and like it could be it all in, but like in the next 3-4 weeks, guaranteed.
It's so tough because like if they lose to the Bucks, he has all the motivation in the world to turn heel. Hangman's the champion. He got distracted from keeping Hangman from when, and now he can't challenge for the belt for a year, so he's pissed at Ospreay. It's just like, it's such a quick pivot. It's almost too quick a pivot from like he's gotten over it a little bit, or not gotten over it, but like softened on it a little bit. But maybe that's why they've held off and they haven't had the true Hangman and Swerve kiss thing.
Yeah,
just kind of like they've orbited each other.
I think if Swerve gets involved, it's on the heel side. I don't think you have the full. Although I don't know. I said this earlier in the show, and so I might just be wrong on a bunch of these predictions. If they just want to make this the feel-good babyface hour across this show, and Ospreay and Swerve beat the Bucks, and the EVPs are gone, and Kyle Fletcher's the only heel on the show that wins, and Tony Storm holds the belt high, I could see them legitimately booking backwards from that. Let's just have our biggest show, this big feel-good celebration thing. So if that's the case, sure. But I think in terms of, this is where it's convoluted. Like Swerve is so interesting to me as a Hangman challenger for that belt, but then if he can't, would he attack? So maybe he does get involved and side with.
It's like a weird character thing, right? Where like Swerve losing against the Bucks helps your booking because he can't challenge for the belt for a year. So that answers why isn't Swerve going after Hangman. But like character wise, if Swerve lost that match, there's no fucking way that character would not explode and try to kill Hangman an hour later. Like
Hangman's getting set on fire.
Yeah, like there's no, it would just be so antithetical to that character. And if he didn't, then he's too far good guy now to turn him back within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, no, 1,000,000%. And so I'm picking Hangman. This would be my most confident pick on the card. I think if they pick Moxley here, no one's like the Death Riders run more than me. Viewers of this show know that. I like it very much. I thought that Cope was a bad challenger. I thought Jay White was a bad challenger, but I even think with the benefit of hindsight, if the whole thing is you have to get your guys together, Orange Cassidy and Jay White are kind of savvy choices because both of them had just lost all their guys. So in that way, I think that they maybe made sense as opponents. Cope a little bit less so besides big star, big title match. But I really think this Death Riders run is going to age really well. I think that they've done whatever you think about it, I think they've done what they've set out to do. People are very ready to see that belt again held by Hangman Page.
Yeah, and that's part of it, right? Like there's definitely parts where it's dragged. There were a couple events where it probably shouldn't have main evented, and I'm a guy that I believe your world title match should always main event. Like if you're telling people that the world title is not the most important thing, short of maybe like Sting's retirement, that's hard for me. But like on paper and based on match quality, it probably shouldn't have main evented a couple of times. And so it's lagged a couple times, but Mox's character is like very consistent and the promos are good and stuff like that. Claudio rocks. Wheeler's got his little role. And then like yeah, like you said, you're gonna look back, and it's not as if like Mox squashed 5 up and coming baby faces who were 1 win away from being
That's
at the
right.
top. He had to kind of have a dominant run for A, the eventual comeuppance to land that hard, and B, you had to buy time for Hangman to go on his arc and get back to this point. And like, yeah, I guess you could have done it with someone else. You could have hot shotted the belt. You could have done it against MJF or something like that. But I don't know. I think there were times in the first maybe first third or first quarter of this Death Riders run where it was getting a little long in the tooth, but it found its groove and it's gonna land in a good spot.
Totally agree with you, especially about like I think the landing, if they do it as I predict, I think will really hearten people to what the Death Riders.
We're
did.
gonna sound so stupid in retrospect if Mox wins on Saturday.
Let me tell you,
like,
tune into the post show if Mox wins. I'm gonna be on one. Blake, I'll let you go soon here. We've taken up a bunch of your time, but I have 2 more quick names for you.
for appearances in the match.
For appearances in this match. Sting or Eddie Kingston?
I think Eddie Kingston for sure.
The world is called you better bundle up. I said the world is called you better bundle up. I said the world is called you better bundle up. And if you see me coming out, you better knuckle up. Don't tune
Like,
into the post show if Eddie Kingston returns.
If he's healthy at all, like, I don't know, man. Him coming back to have a role in like stopping Mox, like as his boy who like before he got hurt was like, oh man, you're going down the wrong path here. And then like that's an easy Mox's next feud to get him away from the title, right? I mean, I'd imagine Mox goes away for a little bit, but that's a pretty easy and pretty quickly hot one. Sting's a tough one. We saw him on we saw Sting on Dynamite, obviously, in the front row there. That's the first time one of those that I like actually bit on the pump fake a little bit because the guy looked big.
Yeah,
he was like he had good size to him, and like
well,
obviously,
Sting's son is training.
Yeah, there you go. And as Mr. TNA, the Sting takes off the mask is like one of the greatest moments of all time. I'm gonna say no to Sting. I think they save him for a big Darby moment, and I don't think just Darby comes back to help is big enough.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm just saying, what about Chris Statlander? Yeah, who do they bring in to neutralize Marina? Could it be Stat, Willow?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, Willow's been part of the story, and I don't know. Like Stat, they've kind of been teasing heel, right? Like kind of teasing going with Death Riders.
Yeah, true. So maybe you see her on the other side.
Yeah, I don't know who else is in the babyface orbit on the women's side.
That's a good question.
All the baby faces are misogynists. Jeez.
Yeah, which you love, of course, but I'm against.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of guy I am.
Man, this is not related to this at all, but just like I was just working through the women on the roster. Mark Briscoe absolutely breaking Renee the other night was like one of my favorite AEW moments recently.
Dude, he did the full-on delirious. Just like people are loving it.
Yeah, I don't know who the other
in the chat.
I don't know who the other babyface on the women's side would be if Stat comes out on the heel side.
Yeah, I think Willow is chalk to be in this. Like I would pick Willow.
Yeah,
I should have listed her in the assumed people.
Yeah.
A couple fun ideas here in the chat. J Division saying maybe Hangman left the chains in Swerve's locker room, and Swerve brings Hangman the chains for the finish. That could be a very cool visual for sure.
Yeah.
After Chris, I didn't think it was more possible to get more excited for the show, but you guys got me there. Thanks, brother. Nice thing to say. And Matty Max saying would love to see Eddie stop Gabe Kidd, and then they can rematch at Forbidden Door. I really think Forbidden Door is going to be Kenny Gabe too, but if not, I think that would be a very good thing to do there, Matty.
Oh, I don't know if you saw this news, but there was not really Forbidden Door related news, but New Japan related news before I came on.
Goto is cast as E Honda.
Yeah, how sick is that?
Wait, isn't he not fat enough?
But the casting on these guys is all weird, right? Like they're clearly reimagining some of these guys, like M. Bison being, I forget the actor's name, but the really creepy actor.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know
right?
you're talking about. I forget
he
his
was
name
in like
too.
the early Batman relaunch movies. David Malkian.
That's it. Beautiful.
I'm not saying, there's no way I'm saying that right, but
I think you nailed it. I think Goto, I'd have him drinking butter. That's what I'd do. I'd say, Goto, the only thing you drink is melted ice cream for the next couple months.
Yeah, that's
hit the GTR like that.
Yeah.
Blake, I'll
cool.
let you go here, and then I'm going to talk about Tony and Mercedes. I guess
Is
on my
it
own.
because I keep going on side tangents? Like
No,
Renee and
if you want to
Dark
stick
Crystal and
around
Street
and
Fighter?
talk Tony Mercedes with me, I'd love to have you. Our other guests couldn't make it.
No, you guys go ahead. I am excited for that one though. I think it has the potential to be the best women's match in AEW history.
Woo! I love that. The bar right
So-
there for me is set between Chris and Willow in the street fight. So
Yeah.
I think they
Yeah,
can
I
flip
guess
that.
I should qualify non-street fight because Tony Mariah was pretty good too as
Yeah.
a bloody blow off.
Awesome match.
But yeah,
Genuinely
from a pure wrestling standpoint, I think this one could be up there.
Well, that's a very exciting way to go in. Blake, anything you want to tell the people before we let you get out of here for the week?
No, just support Wrestling Brain. It's the best. I'm stoked for Saturday. I'm stoked to be texting you during it. I'll be here with Ricky Hart and Will Martinez. We'll be texting you, buddy.
When I see you three hanging out, I mean, oftentimes it's just FaceTime you guys if you're watching pay-per-views together because my FOMO is so bad. What a crew.
Couple afternoon cold ones.
Oh,
Come on.
what are we doing
Ryan
here,
and I
boys?
both did the exact same thing. Ryan and I in synchronicity just like,
Oh,
Like,
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, hell.
What? Look, we're not that far away from you. You'll be down here for the September one. We'll
Yeah,
be.
I'm so stoked.
we'll
There'll be
be
more than a
ripping it
few
up,
cold
so.
ones that weekend.
Oh,
got
yeah.
a feeling.
I think we're drinking
All right.
47 beers that weekend, Josh.
I think that's about right. Blake, you're the best man. Like Zoobs, I love you, and I couldn't be more thankful for you making some time. And I love hearing you talk about anything. You're so dialed. One of the most like dialed, precise, full thought guys that's ever existed. It's so impressive. So thanks for jumping on, brother.
All right. Talk
soon.
to you guys soon. I'll talk to you Saturday, buddy.
There he goes, Blake Murphy. As good as it gets, Blake Murphy, for my money, right?
Should have asked him some hard-hitting questions about the price increase of Sportsnet Plus. Put him in a real awkward spot.
Yeah, he wouldn't have liked that, I'm sure.
No,
Listen,
I'm glad I didn't.
I'll tell you this: buy physical media. That's what I got to say.
Oh, come on.
All right,
I got-
Ryan, are you going to join me for the capper here? Are you going to be lead guest main event tonight? No, you know him from the Hardest Podcast to Podcast, and as the producer of the AEW Dudes, he is also not co-hosting, but producing the All In Post Show this Saturday, the moment the pay-per-view ends. Again, if you want to get in and chat with people about the pay-per-view during it, patreon.com/J0SHC paid gets you into the Discord. You can chat with all sorts of people about it in there. It's 24/7 great discourse in there. And the free version, you'll still get to do the pick'em sheet. You'll still get to prove that you are a great wrestling brain. Jump on in on the Patreon. Oh, and All In, Justin Morissette, who was in the building, and we looked back and reviewed that. That's behind there from this week too, as well as like 130 other episodes. It's the best.
It's worth,
Ashton
it's
says,
worth the
can't
price.
wear the Mariners hat tonight, brother. She's not a good night for the M's, Ryan.
No, it was not.
Okay, we're not talking about it. Okay.
Nope.
All right,
No, we're
moving on, as they say.
Talking about
big match here, Ryan. Toni Storm puts her women's world title on the line against her most believable to beat her challenger since she won the thing. I suppose Mariah May. Oh, look, perfect timing. Sorry, Ryan, you're demoted. Look who it is. It's the wonderful Kate from Fightful. Kate, how are you?
The dumbass from Fightful who was supposed to be here an hour and 20 minutes ago. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Kate, you don't have to apologize.
This is
so
insanely
jam-packed.
perfect timing as we were
Do
just
you know
about
that you arrived like perfectly on time? We did the other guests, and I said, let's talk a little Toni Mercedes, and you popped up on screen.
Had it the whole time, you guys.
That's why she's a pro. We're so thankful to have you here, Kate.
How
What-
are you? I love you guys. I'm
We
so
love you.
there's so much going on, and I was like, the one thing that like I'm so excited to do is talk to you guys, and I like almost completely missed it. But I'm so glad to talk about this match because I think it's been so brilliantly built to, and I think like one thing I love about this card is there's a few things that feel like they could go either way.
Yeah, this is definitely one of them. I think when we were putting it in the Discord, this was the number one most split, sort of no one was really sure who's winning. Let's start there. Do you have a strong lean on who will ultimately pin who at the end of Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné?
I don't have a strong lean other than like a gut feeling. Like I feel like Tony's gonna get the win just because it feels like the timing for Mercedes to start like waning on the belt collector thing is good, especially with Forbidden Door coming up. Like this whole next season, there's so many opportunities for her to drop these belts. And I think it's like I feel like they've hit the stride really well because for the people that like have completely worked themselves into thinking this is all her doing, they're going to be whatever they are anyway. But for the people that are understanding this belt collector run, I think this is like the perfect timing for her to drop like or start that downfall. Like I feel like this is the loss that unravels that thread. And I feel like Willow, Stat, Athena, like there's so many people that can come for all of her other titles. And
100%.
probably like people on I'm assuming like a Dakota Kai is on the way in. So I feel like it's gonna be Tony, but I feel like this and the tag match between the Bucks and Swerve and Osprey, there's some really good like, man, I don't know. And the implications of both sides are really interesting as far as like either direction. I feel like there's not a wrong choice in it. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this.
Unbelievable Pro runs on here, lays out the whole thing like it's nothing. I completely agree. I think that this doesn't play into booking, or at least shouldn't, but just personally, I feel like Tony Storm deserves this, the big moment at the big show that her and Mercedes are even like positioned as equals is a massive credit to Tony Storm, who was starting behind that starting line compared to Mercedes Moné in terms of where they've had to come up to. In terms of reactions to Mercedes Moné, I just legitimately cannot relate to anything less. I think she's one of the best wrestlers on earth. I'm like a flag-bearing giant fan of hers. I admit that her promos are not necessarily very good or even to my taste, but I barely care. Like, I just like the way she wrestles so much. And as a stylistic, I agree with you. The build and the positioning has been immaculate. But even if they just threw this match together last minute on something, the way these two stylistically match up in ring, especially with this version of Tony Storm, I think, are we looking at something that could like be match of the night with something on Omega Okada or something people are, you know, the catharsis of Hangman and Mox? Like, I legitimately think this is in the running, which is really impressive.
I do too. And I love that you mentioned like stylistically what they do with in the ring, because I think one of the things Mercedes does better than anybody is just her selling and the way Tony Storm, the Storm Zero, like anytime she hip attacks someone, I'm like, that person got a concussion. There's no way they didn't. Like, it's nuts. Like it's such a fun thing. And them like both having, you know, Tony like came strongly from a lot of the Joshi world, and Mercedes now having had time to dive into Japanese wrestling and stuff. Like I expect this to be really fun and hard hitting. Will it be match of the night? I think one thing that's really fun with AEW when they are on a heater, and I've been on the show when things haven't been so great, and I've been on this channel when things have been really great. I feel like they've been killing it of
Us
late.
too.
And
Yeah.
like when it comes to match of the night stuff, what I love is you can sit back at some of these cards and be like, damn, you could pick 4 things that were match of the night. It's really just your preference. Like on a card with the Young Bucks versus Osprey and Swerve, you have Omega and Okada, obviously. You have the main event, which I think is going to be overbooked to hell, but has one of the most potentially satisfying endings to a story that you could have.
And I'm stoked for the overbooking. Like, AEW never does it. It will be novel to see just like a billion people running out in AEW.
It is funny that every member of the Shield now has to have some like overbooked stable, like that's just become a thing. But I feel like I like that the story calls for it. I like that Hangman is legitimately on a cowboy redemption arc. It's giving Red Dead Redemption 2. Like I'm loving that he's on that way. And I had the thought the other day of like, oh man, remember when the Young Bucks looked at Hangman the first time and just gave him the nod, like it's your time to win? What if that guy Swerve? What if this is overbooked to hell, but like it doesn't necessarily boil over into the ring in the same way we think it is? It's just people running each other off. What if Danielson's running off Wheeler Yuta?
I think that's a great prediction.
Yeah, like Eddie Kingston running off Gabe Kidd, because he's probably not fully cleared, but like he could run in there with a gasoline can. It's Eddie Kingston. So
and we love it.
I really think end of the night it's just going to be stylistically what you love. Yeah. I'm interested to see if this is going to be like a women's match of the year candidate, because
I think it'd be the best women's match in AEW history.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's funny, you had said like we were talking about the Mercedes reactions, and I'm like, I would hate this if she was bad at wrestling. Like if she was bad at wrestling, I wouldn't like it. But I'm seeing her put on like those 2 matches with Chris Statlander, Hazuki. Like she's doing such great work. The match with Athena that was on free TV. Like if she was having all these belts and sucked at this, I would not be into it. But she's one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. So
100%. And even beyond that, I don't get this ego thing that's put onto her. Because it's like, if you watch her wrestle, it's true that she wins, but you could never describe her as not giving in the ring. You'd have to be flatly not watching what she does. Like you said, her selling, she's one of the most giving wrestlers I can think of in the ring, in terms of like, she will fold in half and launch herself anywhere for like mid-tempo offsets all the time. There's not an egomaniac in wrestling ever that has that trait. Like, if you go to prime Goldberg or Hogan or Warrior, whoever you think of like these ego monsters, it's not just a win or lose thing. They're or The Rock has built into his movie contracts how much offense he will take. Like, Mercedes Moné is the exact opposite. Like, she will just destroy herself for the name of the match. Pointed question for you, Kate.
Funny,
no, sorry, please,
how.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say too, like, I don't think they paid her a bunch of money to come in and just like hang out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think she's going to an Austrian catch promotion to not win a title. Like, that's the coolest thing that's ever happened to that promotion's history, probably. At least since Gunther walked out of there, I'm assuming at some point. So, like, I think what struck me immediately is, one, just like, not to be whatever, but it's partly because she's a black woman here, right? Because nobody did this with Kenny Omega, nobody did this with FTR. And the other thing is, like, we did not see like FTR has creative control because they have the New Japan tactic. Like, stop.
Yeah.
And then
men hate women.
aspect,
that's all about it.
That is the problem.
It's certainly a piece of it, and I think she's one of the biggest stars to go from WWE to AEW, right? So there's gonna just be weirdness all around with that.
The super normal WWE fans will be super normal and act regular about that one. They'll take it as they take everything in stride.
Oh, exactly. But like, I think people always underestimate with stuff like this how productive the downfall is going to be.
Yes,
like, her losing all of these and probably also incredible matches is going to make star after star after star across so many different promotions. Which, if you remember her first promo when she got to AEW, that's kind of what she was saying she wanted to do, right? So I think like her losing the Rev Pro Championship is going to make somebody.
100%.
It's going to catapult them onto a new level. So I'm like looking forward to the downfall in that sense of like, I think in a very short amount of time, it's going to just be like boom, 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 boom. Like all of these women are going to get elevated in the span of a couple months.
It's really cool. And I like that you call that out, because even in the press that she does outside of character, outside of AEW, she's very consistent that that's part of the AEW thing that she really likes, that she can be this, you shouldn't say belt hunter, but, you know, going into these feds, wrestling their best talent, like the sort of old territory thing. She can get the Joshi work out of her system. Like, she gets to have all these balls in the air. And I think that that's part of AEW that she really likes. And it's just so endearing to me, a wrestling nerd, that it's like, that's what you'd want to think everyone would be. That's like, no, Mercedes doesn't need the money. You think she has to go wrestle Azumi in New Japan Strong? Like, she just does it.
She went to Austria for an independent wrestling paycheck. Like, I'm pretty sure
it's just
she
so
didn't
raw,
need to do that. But to your point too, and I love this about her, you can see the Joshi influence. You can see the Lucha influence. Like, it's cool that when she talks about Global Revolution, she's also stylistically incorporating all the things that, like, I think it was Chris Hero who kind of laid out, like, kind of what each part of the world gives you as far as wrestling, like that European wrestling is often like mental chess, and that Japanese wrestling is struggle through sport, and Lucha is acrobatics and pageantry, and American wrestling is moral struggle. Like, he did this incredible job of very succinctly laying those out, and I see Mercedes in her post WWE chapter absorbing all of those things into her wrestling style. And she'll also do like, I love, she's an egomaniac. She's running around with a Mini Monet puppet and Harley Cameron. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not someone that has an ego that's doing like dramatic frame shots of her and a puppet of herself. Like, it's just
people who think wrestling's real. It's that they think she is the CEO character, and that it's like inextricable. And anyway, I want to ask you this, because we had a chatter earlier tonight, Kate, and I hadn't even really thought about this, suggests that we might see Athena win the women's gauntlet and cash in on the same night. I can't really say that I see that happening, but then when I think they might not want to have two of these contracts active at the same time, they only have Dynamite and Collision, like, I could see them wanting to exercise it. Is that something we should be looking at the end of this match, for maybe not even just Athena, but we'll say the gauntlet winner to potentially cash in on the winner of this match?
I for some reason, I just don't feel like that's the play. I think because there's just so many things that feel so big on this card that the moment of cashing in, like if Athena were to lose her ROH title, have the match with Thunder Rosa, enter the gauntlet, and then like kind of cash in right away on Mercedes, or Tony, I feel like with All Out being so close to this and
Yeah.
Forbidden Door being so close to this, there's just kind of too many opportunities there to do that.
It's a good shout.
The men's one, I feel like you have such a big moment in Hangman that like you're
Please
not gonna
don't.
rip that away from people right away. So I don't think it's gonna be an immediate thing like that.
Cool.
And that's just a gut feeling too of just like I think these are just too monumental to cut the legs out from under the moments.
I agree with you, especially on the men's side. When I think of that, I would consider, if there's anything but Hangman wins and hoist the belt out of I will consider it like overthinking, like just land the plane at this point. Like it's so right there. Everybody's going to love it. So I'm happy to think that you think I think that this one just play chalk. I think this should be an easy to predict pay-per-view that tells, like, really just wraps up these stories and extinguishes some bad feelings that people have had about AEW, and then they can go sort of into booking and what's next mode. Something has to play as the finale eventually, and I think that's kind of the energy that I'm sensing around All In, and they'll sort of figure out the next steps as they come. So yeah, I'm not predicting a cash in on either, but I did think it was something to think about.
Sure. I would love it if Athena won. I would love that. Like that would make my heart soar. But we'll see. We'll see what they do, because I think there's also like this mobility issue of Tony Storm's a 4-time champion, Hangman's a 3-time champion, John Moxley's a 4-time champion. Like we gotta get some fresh faces in the upper picture. I think you could see a Chris Statlander or a Willow Wynn or like things like that too, of women who have deserved it. You could see Alex Windsor come in and win it right away. Like I think there's some interesting. Ruby Soho has all this history with Tony Storm. Like maybe there's options that we're not really considering in that way. But my heart is with Athena because I am an ROH holdout.
Okay, Kate, we got to talk just briefly. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I told you to be a short appearance. It's so late for you, and I appreciate you calling in so much. Genuinely.
No,
we
my God, I felt like
deal.
such a dum-dum. You can have me as long as you want me.
We would never call you a dum-dum. This stuff happens. It's All In week. Like we're all over the
My
place.
God, I help with Fightful social media too, so it's just been like, and Sean is in Texas, so it's just been insane. But I was like, this I want to do. This is fun.
Nothing dumb about missing this. You politicked your right to the main event spot.
That's
just
true.
just like Mercedes Moné. I heard that before you got on here, you were crying on the floor in the hotel hallway, and now you got exactly what you wanted. I had a lot to say about this match, and then I got politicked, and that's the way she goes.
I'm sorry, but I took over creative control of Wrestling Brain, it turns out. So
that could only help, frankly. That's probably going to be helpful. I think there would be zero complaints on that if creative control was handed over to Kate.
Politicking Jones over here. I had my Taz.
Yeah, there we go. A great, and not to go too far off tangent here, but Taz is actually a great example, I think, of like weaponized ego in wrestling. Maybe low key is like this too, where like there is a believability in these people. Like if Mercedes was some sort of ego monster, there are people who can wield it and find use in it too, which I think is cool. You brought up people we hadn't thought of. Do you think we see any debuts in the gauntlet on the women's side? I think Dakota Kai's contractor a little more in touch with this than me, I think. Is there a chance of Dakota Kai or I'm forgetting her name outside of, but Bea Priestley, or I forget her name now, but are
you Blair Davenport, Bea Priestley.
Thank you very much, Blair Davenport.
I think Dakota is still in her 90-day window.
Okay, that makes sense.
I can't remember fully. But I think there's certainly some I thought they were going to save Ty Mello for this, to be honest, but they brought her back earlier. I think
I'm actually kind of glad they didn't save her. I've been so impressed by Ty Mello lately, and I don't really consider myself like a big fan of hers. I mean that, and like I didn't think she was bad either, but I don't think of her in like some sort of upper echelon. But I really enjoyed what she was doing lately.
She improved quite a bit. Like, and I think I'm glad to see, with as much time as she was out of the ring, she still like it seems to be performing at the level she was at when she left. I think it's definitely possible to see, like we mentioned, Ruby Soho, Alex Windsor. I would be shocked just because Forbidden Door is so close to Harley Cameron, maybe some of those. They're like, the roster is pretty healthy. But it is funny how many people are still like on the bench, like your Orange Cassidy's, Jay White's, Eddie Kingston's, or like there's quite a few people that like are still percolating in the background. Keith Lee is something everybody's been bringing up.
I'd love it.
So, but on the women's side, I think maybe there's possibilities there. I think Athena's certainly a big one. I would hope Thunder Rosa, like your Texas gals, are there. We'll see. We'll see. Free agent wise, I feel like those WWE releases are still under the 90-day window.
That's a damn shame. This is my final question for you, Kate. We're going to lean on your Ring of Honor expertise here. Or actually, I'm going to ask you two questions. The real question's coming after. This is the first question. What is it like covering Ring of Honor right now?
Well, we gave up the post show because it just got so fruitless of like.
Is there even a show worth watching there?
What's sad is there's really not. And the problem with the show that we had at Fightful was we had ROH and TNA, and we would hand off the post show to the TNA crew because it would end an hour later. But that means they're paying 4 hosts for a show that's going to have the least engagement because all of that is paywalled and the least cared about TV products. So we axed our half of it because it wasn't going anywhere. There was nothing that was productive about it.
They abandoned it. From what I can tell.
They really did. It felt like they were sniffing around for TV deals and then didn't get one. So now it's their AEW Dark or something. I will always hold out hope. I will always tune into the talent that I want to see. I'm hoping that the Infantry come out with tag titles. I think that would be well deserved. Shane Taylor Promotions is like always calling out for title shots they don't get.
Love Shane Taylor.
Me too. Unbelievable. Like when I think of
Taylor
swing and misses from ROH, that's certainly one. The big news is that Red Velvet was injured, and so they have to crown that new interim TV champion. But I would say they kind of share the rosters. So like Queen Amanada is probably going to be in the gauntlet, but she's on both brands, right? Like things like that. So we'll see.
Okay, that's about what I expected. But now to lean on the expertise all the same. If Athena is going to win the gauntlet, does she have to lose to Thunder Rosa the night before on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view? Is that like, because in my mind, somebody who doesn't follow Ring of Honor very closely, Thunder Rosa probably isn't who you would want to dethrone Athena after this sort of historical run. But Thunder Rosa is a Texan and you could see certain good responses. Is that something we should maybe be on the lookout for?
So there's kind of 2 schools of thought with that. One, they're not doing a whole heck of a lot with her on the AEW main product. She could certainly go do something productive in ROH the way that Athena has. The other school of thought is it's felt like the story for Billy Starks has been there. Like for her to not climb the mountain twice and not get a shot at the third one would seem weird. And I think Athena is going to be like an 1,000-day champion in the next couple of weeks or so they might be holding out for that.
They should. Crazy. That's awesome. I didn't realize 1,000 days.
That's kind of rad. Yeah. I can't argue with that being very cool.
That's got to pass. That's going to be the longest anyone's ever had in Ring of Honor, I would think, across any of their titles. Because I remember somebody crossed Joe at 1.5 years, and like 1,000 days is so clear. It clears that anyway.
Clears everything. Cool. Nigel Danielson, Samoa Joe. She's the longest reigning champion there, which is cool because ROH has historically never been a women's wrestling brand.
Ever. I think people almost forget. Like they think like the racism and sexism is like a WWF attitude era thing. Like early ROH is horrible. Like they treat Jade Chung is worse than you or imagine. Like you're thinking like XPW angles level of like how they were treating Jade Chung back in beginning of ROH. It's horrible. So, and I feel like she's been the reason anyone's bought one of those pay-per-views post Jay Briscoe that's she's deserving of whatever accolades they want to throw her way. Great stuff.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000% with that. It'll be interesting to see what they choose to do. If they go the story route, it should absolutely be Billy Starks. If they go the we're in Texas route, it'll be Thunder Rosa.
Ring of Honor feels like a show they could do the we're in Texas route for. Like it feels like they don't have the most attention paid to it in some ways. Or in every way, I suppose.
It feels like they have the least attention paid to
it
in all ways.
yeah, basically couldn't be less. That's true. Kate, we love having you on here. Really appreciate you carving out some time. What's Fightful doing this week? I'm sure you guys are wall to wall packed.
Oh my God, just too much. Well, thank you for relinquishing creative control to me. It means a lot. But I have to go win all these other titles at Fightful this weekend. So we are going to have an ROH post show because those pay-per-views, I will say, always show out.
Always,
a SmackDown post show for some reason. I'm on the All In post show for the main channel, which I'm
Awesome.
very, very excited about.
That's huge.
For several reasons, including it means I don't have to watch Saturday night's main event, which has nothing on it. But there will be a post show at Fightful for that too, and I am covering Evolution as well. So
Saturday nights, the one following All In is Saturday night's main event, and that's Goldberg and Gunther.
Yeah.
That's great. It is. Sorry, Kate. I said I'm going to let you go. Final thing. I
no,
promise.
it's okay. I'll talk to you guys all day. Seriously,
That's
I
very
love talking
sweet.
to you guys.
Is Gunther winning? Is Goldberg retiring? What's the read on this? This is the perfect match for a guy like me who doesn't watch any WWE but reads results. This is the perfect match for me. I have no interest in seeing it. I'm interested in what they're gonna do.
I think Gunther probably just wins because Seth Rollins won Money in the Bank. And you could do like Goldberg wins and then Seth Rollins immediately cashes in. But to me, it feels like they're going for the play of him cashing in at SummerSlam like he did the first time around with the Authority angle against Gunther. And who won? I don't know who will sneak into that to make it they'll make it a triple threat that Seth Rollins wins with Gunther and somebody else. But
I'm only interested in Goldberg winning, so this does nothing.
He will win. There's no juice to this, and he showed up on like
only result that interests me.
There's no sports right now, and it was an off day for the Mariners. So I watched Raw. I was so bored, and they've already done the Bill Goldberg drives up in his fancy car, and he's swerving all over the road like he knows how to drive, and he's gonna win. There'll be something stupid, but for some reason, they're so desperate for nostalgia acts there that they just keep giving him these, like, sure, fuck it, who cares? Like, who cares about Gunther? Yeah, he'll win it. He'll win it. He'll win it in 2 minutes.
I'd be interested in it because I like watching wrestling matches that can go in GIFs, and I like when he's exhausted in wrestling. You can't. That is some of the best. That is, if you don't find that like breathtaking, and I can't take my eyes when he's like trying to get Undertaker up, but he can't. He's purple. He can't do it. I can't do it. It's.
I thought Tanahashi had no knees. This poor guy he's got there is no cartilage.
What about the reports that are like, oh yeah, I'm really hurt. My shoulder's jacked up. The two things I do involve a shoulder.
Oh, is he saying that? He's saying he's injured too?
He's saying he was injured, and then they popped him out for the counter programming. He also
I will never see this match, and I love the booking.
I love it too. Like, there's no juice. There's just...
Guys, there are 3 matches. I'm sure they're going to announce 1 or 2 tomorrow. Or they announced 1 today, actually. Up until yesterday, there were 3 matches announced for this event.
How long do those ones go? They're 2-hour TV events?
They're like, they're specials, so they're usually 2 hours, but it was like Drew and Orton, Seth and LA Knight, and that match.
Oh man, that sounds
my God.
I'm gonna say that sounds like exactly what I think's going on over there. Is what sometimes I'm like, am I missing out because someone tell you it's good? And then I hear stuff like
I remember a couple months ago, Kenny Omega was like, I just feel like we're leading toward like Logan Paul versus whatever other YouTuber in the main event of WrestleMania, and everyone got mad. And then a report came out today that was like, Jelly Roll has been training, and I was just like, why were y'all mad at Kenny Omega?
I saw that quote too, and it's like, that is how it feels to me.
It feels like wrestling with the stars. I said on my post shows, like it's.
Oh my God, that's a good way of thinking about it. I might steal that from you and take credit, Kate. That's a great way. It's like wrestling with the stars over there. That's fantastic. I'm nervous to even say the words Jelly Roll into this microphone though, because the algorithm is so obsessed with showing me this guy. They're just like, oh, you're a guy with tattoos. You're gonna love this guy. You know this big guy. He's always seems. I feel like the push.
He's
like
so
he's soulful
relatable.
and nice. Yeah, I feel like that's the whole push. It's like
he turned his life
you
around.
Have tattoos?
Been through things. Don't you love this guy? Yeah.
I don't know anything about him. I don't.
There's nothing to know about him.
I'm close to it, and my phone is giving Jelly Roll the push. I'll tell you that. When I saw that pop up today, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
What if we could
just
get
makes me want a Jelly Roll. That's what happens with me.
What if we could get Post Malone, but he's a fat guy? We would sell even more.
When you describe him like that, I do like it actually. That makes me.
That's not bad.
Fat Post Malone
bad.
is a good act. Someone should do that in wrestling.
He honestly, like, when I hear him say things, he seems like a very authentic person, and I so appreciate that about him. I just have no interest in
Famous people
seeing
are great
that
at
guy
faking
wrestle.
authenticity. It's their number one trait is faking authenticity. Wrestlers and
Sure.
famous people, they're so good at it.
They are. They are.
So I'm not trusting
why,
Jelly
like,
Roll. That's
What
all.
I know of Jelly Roll in wrestling is Austin Theory jumped into his hand so he could chokeslam him.
Oh, that's
that's
right.
that's what I know of Jelly Roll in wrestling.
He's done wrestling. Oh my god.
Jelly
Kenny Omega's
Roll's
right. Go figure.
Listen, Jelly Roll's putting somebody through a Slim Jim table at SummerSlam, and that's all you got to know.
Actually,
My God,
feels
the
like an
Slim Jim
intercontinental champ. That's
Jelly Roll.
It'll absolutely be a Damian Priest tag program or something. That's 100% what that's gonna be.
Kate, we love having you on. Check out Fightful all weekend. Support. Oh, Kate, your YouTube video, I watched it and loved it. We retweeted it. Go check out Kate's personal YouTube channel. Kate, when you close this, do you want to put the link to it in our chat so people can just go click on it and subscribe rather? Or if they search Miss Kate Fabe on YouTube, would it pop up?
Great username.
It will pop up. I will put
Throw it in the
link
chat.
there.
I thought that was a great video. Because it's so true. These like trends that we think are wrestling things, but are just Vince McMahon things. Like, I don't think I'd actually really thought about it in those terms before watching. So go check out this video. Great stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I did one that was, I'll throw it in the chat right here.
Beautiful.
I did one today that was like 3 things that have to happen for All In to be a success. Hangman winning was one of the 3 things, big surprise. And then 3 bad habits that I felt like WWE got rid of from the Vince era that have now snuck their way back in. So
this was the one
those
I
are the 2
watched.
things that I put out this week. So I appreciate you guys plugging that. And I love coming on here. You guys are so much fun to talk to, sincerely. Very much.
Come back
appreciate it.
anytime, Kate. Like Hiroshi Tanahashi says, love and energy. And we'll
can I
catch
say
you very
one?
soon. Enjoy home. Oh yeah,
I gotta say one thing before you go. With this crop, with your background and your bright orange shirt, oversized shirt, you do kind of look like a mugshot or a convict or Nails cosplay.
This was what you interrupted saying goodbye for? To tell her she looked like a prisoner?
I gotta tell her in person. There's a wrestler in our local Fed. The convict is so over.
To insult her on the way out. Wow, that's
That
great.
is
for
not
you.
an insult.
Money.
I will take it. It is aggressively orange. Like it is. It is a Team Taz bright orange shirt, but I
thought
don't
he had
know
something
why, but
good.
this,
I'm
like,
saying goodbye. He's
action
insulting you.
hero.
I can't believe it. I'm shocked.
You talking
He's
about
just
Jelly
mad 'cause
Roll
I
being
took
a
over
former
creative
criminal?
control,
Look at this cowgirl on the camera.
Oh my goodness. Kate, you're the best. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll catch you very
No
soon.
problem. Love chopping it up with you guys. Enjoy All In. Like this should be such a fun weekend.
I'm so pumped for it.
Appreciate you both.
Thanks, Kate. You too. Bye-bye. There she goes. Always a reliable guest.
Fantastic.
Right, I gotta take. Don't piss off our guests. What was that?
Listen, if you can compliment somebody on their nails with the Zed cosplay, they're coming back.
I agree. If you can compliment them, I'm into it. He's like, hey, just before you go, I want to
look like
say,
a criminal.
You look like a prisoner.
I love that.
Oh.
No, I love that I love the whole conversation about about my main. Man, I just wanted to say one quick thing about
Please.
Tony Storm. I have a handful of wrestlers that I truly believe in. Brett's one, Punk's another one, Rob Van Dam was one for a real long time, and Tony Storm is as close to those cats as she can get, and if not one of them. She's a wrestler that I want to hear everything she has to say. I want to watch all her matches, and she is everything she does is appointment viewing for me, and I love everything about the character and the dedication to it, and it's just it's so special to see.
Do you think she's winning?
I think she should win, and I think she will, and I think that she is such an over and such a significant part of this show and this organization that they are going to save her being dethroned for somebody. They're going to do it the right way with her, and it's going to be a proper torch passing. But she's she's special. She's everything that New York isn't, and man, like when you hear about all the people getting fired that are part of the queer and LGBTQ plus community, and then she's coming out there cutting those middle finger promos and like that's just so fucking badass. It's so punk rock, and it just warms my heart, and I love everything that she does, and it's just so special to see. It's one of the most incredible runs for a wrestler in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. She's done incredible things. That title, she's had it for so long that it's almost hard to remember, but that title was just so much worse before Toni Storm had it. The scene was worse. The feuds around it were worse. She has elevated that title like exactly what you're supposed to do as champion. She's the example in modern wrestling of take the title and elevate it. The belt didn't make the person. The person made the belt with Toni Storm. Oh, hi, Stevie. Their sweetheart Stevie. We love Stevie.
It reminds me of RVD with the ECW TV title. And it's just like
make it must see.
And I can't wait to see who takes it from her, because it's going to be special and it's going to make sense and it's going to make somebody.
And maybe it will be this Saturday on All In. Ryan, thank you so much. Almost 3 hours of production, lots of guests, smooth as butter. Appreciate you so much, man. That was fantastic. All of you stuck around. Appreciate it very much. If you're listening to this on the podcast feed, if you're watching this on YouTube, again, patreon.com/J0SHC, or at a minimum, twitch.tv/WrestlingBrain. The moment All In ends, come and hang out with Ryan and I. We'll talk about the show. I bet it's going to be great. I bet we'll be excited. Everybody will be in a good mood. And it's in the middle of the day. Normally for the post shows, you got to stay up to like 2 a.m. on the East Coast to hear from me. So not the case. It's going to be great. Ryan, again, thank you so much. Chat, thank you so much. Love and energy, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for Battle House, and then Saturday for the post.